I don't know. Enjoy if you choose.
Alright, greetings and salutations. It looks like I logged on like, whoop, maybe a second too late to get the raid from Voodoo, but that's alright this morning. We'll see how it goes. We'll figure it out. Alrighty. I sit down, getting going this morning. I slept like a little bit later than usual. That's okay. Should have got up and got moving a little bit earlier this morning. We'll make it work. Alright. Everybody doing it. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Alright. Getting moving this morning. Activating this, doing that, doing this other thing. Let's get this party started, shall we? I really do hope the titles got updated everywhere that should be updated. At least if the titles get updated, that's fine. Stream now with Classic, please. So I can watch what's going on YouTube. We have some junk to clean up at some point. Yeah, good. Looks like everything's running. Perfect. That's all I can ask. All I can ask for. Alright. Why is it so quiet? Hopefully it's just a little quiet. Must have turned my audio down. Oh boy, blah 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 blah. Good morning, out of time. Thanks for trying to let Voodoo know that I was about to go live. Usually I go live at right now, like at 11, but I was taking my time and I wanted to pop over to a stream and watch it for a couple of minutes while I was getting titles changed and stuff like that. And I'm just like, leave a good morning message, and then next thing I know, it's like, alright, I'm out of here, peace. I'm like, no, give me a second. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be ready. It's all good. It's exactly what it felt like. Just like I just want to sit here. I haven't even taken the tea bags out of my tea yet this morning. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I need one small handful of time to like wake up and relax. I haven't brushed out my beard. Nothing. It's like, Voodoo streaming. I can watch Voodoo for a couple of minutes while I like get moving. This is okay. If I'm a couple minutes late getting started, at least I'll be hanging out watching Voodoo and doing the stuff, and it's like, alright, peace. I'm like, no. Oh, it's okay. So anyway, this morning we're going to be moving out into Giant Hold for a little while. Giant Hold's usually good for a little more than a level, give or take. It's also kind of one of the easier of the quest packs. So I think we'll be able to go back to Reaper 4. At least that's the hope. And we'll see how it goes from there. How does it go from there? Making sure everything's turned on, making sure we have everything we need. I think we're good to go. I like Giant Hole with all those augment guys right there. It's easy to collect for relics. Yeah, I agree. Giant Hole's got some sweet ones too. There's some exclusive, pseudo-exclusive, mostly exclusive, however you want to look at it. Augments that come out of Giant Hold that raise your casting school. 1 to 2 points. Like, I think 1 is heroic, and I think it's +1 to your school, and then 1 is. Oh, let's go this. And 1 is epic, and raises your school by 2, and I think they stack.
Safety must be carved out by sword and blood. What blood have I shed? My memories are lost.
Yeah, Jeff Hanna. One of his old articles was about putting together universal crafting materials or components, or however you want to talk about it, where he kind of figured out the various exchange rates and stuff like that. I would like to experiment with this broken ore. Experiment with the broken ore, but I just don't think it's going to be as good. If I didn't have improved critical, I think it would be a different story. Like, maybe it would be better. Alright, pardon my nose. Like I said, I've literally just getting started for the day, so it's booting up just like I'm booting up. Alright. Stuck on the outcropping there for a second. What about you? Infernal Pact? And they don't see me, so I guess we'll leave them alone. I know that SSG's idea, or maybe not idea even, but like their general thoughts on the matter of having a swap vendor has mostly to do with the idea of people having mats to start with, like when a new system comes out, or illegitimately gained materials that they could use to swap around. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but I know that's part of the reason why they have said in the past that they would not be into something like that. Poosh! Oh, that hit for almost nothing. Hey, what's up?
I was just wondering if you got some sugar around your house so I could borrow it.
Oh my god. I thought you were somebody else for a minute. What's up, buddy?
I'm doing just fine.
Good. Apparently I started my stream like 2 minutes too late this morning.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you get spanked?
Kinda. Voodoo had like 40 people watching, and I sat down to like get everything going this morning, and he's like, oh, nobody I follow on Twitch is live yet this morning, so I'm just gonna like send it to this foreign speaking guy. I'm like, Voodoo, give me 2 minutes, I'll be ready, I just gotta finish changing the titles. He's like, alright, well here you go, enjoy watching DDO in Spanish or whatever. And I'm like, no!
El Didio in El Segundo.
Yeah.
Freaking, he did that to me too. I was so like, but he, I was like, oh, there's no one on that I normally do,
I was like, I typed in his chat too. I was like, hey, hold on, I want to stream.
Yeah, like give
And
me.
he's like, I'm gonna give it to Peter Frampton. Do you feel?
Yeah, it's good. I wish I would have started a little bit earlier this morning like normal, and then it wouldn't have been a big deal. But he would have went and Samus just started the stream, you know. It would have been a smooth handoff to start the day.
It's funny, every time he raids me with like 40 or 30 people, only 8.
Yeah, I was talking to Brell about it a couple streams ago, not just about Voodoo. I think Stream Tom had raided or whatever. And I'm like, we were talking about things, and it was like, yeah, I would like to be able to keep all these people that, you know, consistently, because, you know, you get a drop off after a raid, you know, and I'm like, I wish these guys would give me a chance, because I think they would have as much fun with me as they do Voodoo, you know.
Oh yeah.
If they stuck around and gave me a chance. And I was just like, what do I need to do to get them to give me that chance? Nah, we're fine.
What me and Voodoo found out is that you need to shave your head and grow out a beard.
Well, I have a beard, but I'm not really into the shaving your head thing. Get away from me.
If they think that you are Voodoo when they log into your stream,
is that it?
It's like, yeah, like you gotta trick them to think that they never raided. They're still in the Voodoo Spice channel.
Now I want them to know that there's a difference between Voodoo Spice and the Samus Garobo camp.
I would hope their ears would be enough. You know, there's obvious difference between raspberry and orange juice. You know what I mean? Is there though? I mean, both are delicious, right? You know, yeah, both of them are great. You know, but you call them the same. Ludicrous.
Ah. I don't know. I should just change my name to Voodoo's Garobo or something, and then no one will be able to know.
No, just because I said the word ludicrous, maybe Ludu Spice.
Oh, perfect. Even better. Look at that. Somehow we managed to pull out the staying alive on that one. Have you noticed a serious increase in the amount of Reapers since the patch?
Yeah. Reaper, there's a lot of Reaper incidents going on. I just got in the Players Council, so I got to see the Reaper enhancements aren't working as intended now, and oops, this and that.
I mean, I actually logged in today. I have all of my Memento Strikes and stuff like that. And it looks like all of my hit points are back.
Oh,
So,
if they brought back the hip, because I was doing like RH yesterday with like almost well, you know, when you get to a certain point, I think I was like down 1,000 hit points.
yeah, I mean, I was only down, you know, I've been TRing, so I wasn't down very, you know, that much. But I was down like maybe 50 hit points. Or it's possible that at level 15 it just kicked up. I don't know the various tiers.
Yeah.
But we went to 15 last night, so things could have changed dramatically, but I think we were at like just under or just over 700 hit points last night, and now we're at 803, so
Nice.
honestly, I should have also taken the time to look at gear this morning, but I didn't.
I just got my 125th Reaper point this week.
Amazing.
31 points away from getting all the enhancement.
It's pretty sweet.
And
Yeah.
then I'm just gonna wait for them to come out with super legendary Reaper mode.
Yeah, I'm almost. I mean, I think I'm about to get my 51 point, and what I always get from the people who've been grinding out their points or whatever, the things they say, they're like, I can't believe you've done this almost entirely in heroics. Like, well, it's not that hard. It's just, you get, depending on how comfortable you are, you get between 500 and 800 XP per quest, and you divide that by the number of quests that I've done, and there you go.
Yeah.
But like,
me and Voodoo on a really good life, we would rank up 180,000 just in heroics alone. And I bet you can easily get over 250,000 if you're really meticulous. If it's not about speed. Like, that's the thing, is like your heroic level style, you have to be like speed and XP, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be meticulous and get all the favor and all the Reaper XP, you can lower the speed part, the spectrum, and there's a nice in between for everyone, right?
Yeah, you only there's it's kind of like that idea of fast, high quality, or cheap, right? Like in the real world, it's kind of that same thing, like favor, experience per minute, and or experience and time. You get to pick two of the three. You decide what's most important.
If you want a nice long life where you do pretty much all the quests in heroic, you can probably eke out well over 250, depending on what school you do too. But doing R4 at a comfortable level range, R1 all the way up to a certain point, R4 to a certain point, you can easily scrape over 200,000. But like anywhere between 140 to 180 is a good life, a good heroic Reaper life.
Yeah, I recently have moved. So for casters, I don't have a problem going to R4 in general, but on melees, I don't like doing it because, I'm generally by myself. I don't usually have anyone helping me out on the things except for my trusted hirelings. And so it's a lot different for me to move up to an R4 in melee mode. But this monk life, man, I've been R4ing it up. It's been pretty good.
Yeah. Certain melees, they like, I've noticed that I'll call it the R3 builds, because like I kind of blame my build when I get that way. I'm like, it can't be the class. I see other people doing shit in my groups when stuff.
Thank you.
If they're playing a paladin, why can't I play? I can always get up to R3, no matter how poopy my build is or how much I misunderstand how that works.
Well, there's definitely a tier transition from 3 to 4 that kicks up a sizable tier.
Huge different.
Yeah, there's something like, for example, if I go into an R3 because I'm tired or whatever, I've noticed that like I get hit for like 35 or something, right? Well, there I just got hit for 200. It's like, and it's like, oh, there's a difference in what's going on. You know what I mean? Or, oh man, these trash mobs hitting me for 111. Like, ugh, really? Can this stop now? Never. We will never stop hitting you for ridiculous amounts of damage.
That's why we need to invest in opening up a tobacco company in Circle, so we can make them addicted to it, so they'll take breaks in between harassing and violating us.
That's right.
Have cigarettes.
Have you fiddled around with the stealth build in the last couple of lives?
I know. I know a few quests that are still stealthable, depending on how lucky you are with Reaper.
Right.
But I haven't made a pure stealth build since like 2011.
So I was challenged to do a PDK assassin life, where Thoughtgar actually provided me a big autos box because I told him I hate doing epic because I usually get stuck having to do epics alone. So he's like, "What if I just gave you a box so you don't have to spend all your time there forever?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'd take that challenge on." So I fiddled around. I had a little bit of a stealth stuff going on, you know, because of that build, and it was so good. Like, yeah, you had to struggle bus around if a Reaper showed up or something, but with a pretty good or sizable, uh-oh, might be dead. Make with the heal. I hate playing Reapers. But with a score, with a reasonable score and a little bit of gear, like I was actually able to move through quite a few quests in heroic at least without and skipped, you know, a reasonable size of the combats. I just didn't know if other people were having better success higher up. So I know you spend most of your time above in the epics, so I didn't know if it was still good there.
Oh yeah, you should try it. I remember back before they raised the level cap. You used to be able to stealth 90
Oh, that's the reason why they changed it, right? It's because between stealth and invisibility, you could zerg a quest faster than they intended.
But like they used to support it because remember, and it's still in the game today, but it's hard to do because everyone kills everything. But you actually get XP bonuses for the opposite. You know,
yep,
you can get
devious bonus and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to Tangle Root farm the quest where you would run from one side to the other.
Correct.
Right. And I would, the first one was actually a lot of XP. The second one's kind of poopy, but you would take a friend and you would do the first 5, he'd do the next 5, and then you do a hard elite or a hard normal or whatever, and then you just suck the XP drive.
Yeah, that's that XP farming is the reason why Tangleroot doesn't have a Reaper mode. Did you know that? They actually said that's the reason why Tangleroot doesn't have that.
Yeah. It makes sense.
I don't know. I think that mechanic would be... Shadow looked like a dog for a minute. I feel like that mechanic would be too hard to replicate in the Reaper mode that reliably.
I mean, the thing is, you have to kill 5 people.
10 people.
Or 10 people. So you're not going to get the devious bonus.
Yeah, you just get the discreet. You get the 6 discreet.
Yeah. So
but still, if you
get the Reaper XP for like 2 minutes of running around.
Right, which is why I think they got rid of it purposely because of that.
Which, you know, is silly because you could do certain other quests in Reaper, but I'm not getting into specific.
Yeah, they're definitely XP efficient quests in Reaper still, but also good morning, Riz.
There's quests that don't even give you favor or really good heroic XP that gives Reaper XP.
Oh, is this like the Thrinal quests or whatever?
Yeah.
I bet they would be good because it's like 10 kill guys or. Hang on, sorry, I realized that my brain put those words out of order. Kill 10 guys is like the whole quest or whatever, or kill all the fire giants. There's like 11 of them in the quest. Yeah, I imagine one of them is. I imagine
Kill
some of those would be
Guy
quite
10
good.
sounds like a really good 60s B-rated.
Man, my dyslexia is just strong enough. You know what I mean? Just strong enough.
It's just some guy in a suit over a miniature city, and this girl is going, "Oh no, it's Kill 10."
Man, my nose like takes time to boot up in the morning. Everyone who watches my stream knows this. Man, I really wish it would boot up faster. It takes like the first hour of the stream. I feel like I'm blowing my nose every 5 minutes.
I think Johnny Cash had a song about that.
Yeah, just blowing my nose again, like I did yesterday morning. That's not a Johnny Cash song.
I wish there wasn't so much stuff up my nose when
I wish there wasn't so much stuff up my nose. Oh. Cocaine wasn't that popular then, right? Something like that. It doesn't really matter. It's just like I gotta wake up and get moving and get the blood flowing. Oh my god, really? 4 negative levels? You monster. I guess I should do something about future negative levels. Other than getting murdered here. Come on.
Murder is always an option, though.
Don't. Murdered. I don't want to get murdered.
Nerd. It's
Yeah,
the dirt.
it's the dirt part. That's the problem.
One thing's being a dirt, but when it's dirt.
Yeah, exactly. Just, yeah. Just beat me up a little bit, Daddy. Not that much.
Give me cool a bruise. Chicks love bruises.
That's right. Just a little scar. Just a little scar. Don't get too carried away. Light monks, I think, have a restoration clicky. I don't know if dark monks do. I'm not sure I should be a dark monk with this build. It actually doesn't feel like it's correct. But I thought I would try it.
Light monk is definitely a solid one if you're melee.
Yeah, it's super good. I did a hand wrap build a little bit ago for my one of my halfling lives, and it was so good. So I wanted to just experiment with the dark monk this life, see if it worked out or not.
I wish they would do a thing for the ninja spy tree or dark monks in general, because a lot of what makes ninja spy good in this game and dark monks good in this game are not what that tree's like. The tree's like, oh, if you want to do world short swords, and everyone's like, no, I want to throw shurikens, and they're like, but you can do world short sword. I'm like, then make it good.
No. Monks don't get a pass, man. You know that.
Freaking, it would be dope to have monks going around with 2 short swords.
Yeah. It would be good.
That's kind of what that tree wanted people to do, but then everyone's like, sure.
So I love DDO, I love SSG. Right? I love the turbine. However, I've always said, always have said that they have like a disorder of some sort, right? Some sort of disorder. Have a good morning, afternoon, whatever, out of time. We'll see you later. We'll see you later today. But they have some sort of disorder that prevents them from following through with their ideas. Like it's an ADD or something, you know what I mean? So it's like they start down this path to this really great idea, and then they're like, over here, like shiny. And then they'll start down a really good idea, and then, here's a shiny. You know? And then they end up with these like half-finished ideas that you can see the beginnings of a really great idea, and then they just like somebody leaves it on the table.
It looked like Ninja Spy and Swashbuckler were supposed to be like similar trees, because if you look at Swashbuckler, there's some throwing shit in there. I mean, stuff. There's some throwing junk in there, and of course, single weapon fighting junk or whatever, rune arm junk or on the offhand junk. And then Ninja Spy has the whole short, piercing weapons, commas and all that. But then it became the throwing tree, and then the swashbuckler became something I talk about for the last 9 months.
Right, but I don't think you can be a monk and a bard.
No, you can't. But you can definitely be a bard and a Vistani thrower if you have it.
That's true. You can. So like,
it's not as good as alchemist throwers, but it's super cool.
So like, to give you an idea or an example of one of the like examples I'm talking about.
An example.
Yes, an example of them being ADD or whatever other disorder, right? So I get this question a lot. People go, so can you swashbuckle and be a double crossbow wielder? And I go, technically yes. Like, the enhancement trees exist to make these two things go together. However, you get 0 perks out of the deal for being for doing it. Like, what do you mean? They say, well, if you look at it, the reason why you swashbuckle is because the crit profile changes, right? However, the crossbows are not listed and get no perks of changing the critical profiles. So what good is it to be a swashbuckler that uses crossbows? Nothing. You don't get anything. There are no perks. And people are like, I don't understand, but they put the enhancements in. I'm like, exactly. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
I think the only good thing you can possibly grab that's okay is the fast movement, deflect arrows, and 3 dodge. Everything. Maybe the.
But that's not the reason you swashbuckle. You know what I mean? That's not it. That's.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you get the confidence bonus to the crit multiplier range.
You don't though.
Inquisitive. Yeah.
Well, you can get it through Inquisitive, true. But if you're gonna put that many points, like that, again, that's not really the reason why you're doing it. You're doing it to get that multiplier or whatever earlier, or getting that change early, because you're making a lot of sacrifice if you're gonna be trying to swashbuckle and do your Inquisitive stuff, like.
Yeah, it's better to go like Ranger, Artie, or Rogue, because like if the only thing that will affect your thing, everything here's thrown or finesse weapons except battering barrage on the mark. You get a lot of double shot through the. Well, not a lot. That's relatively speaking.
Let's say you get a little.
Yeah, you get a little double shot, like 5. And you can get deflect arrows and fast move. It looks like you also get a trick guard that works 20% of the time, all the time. And besides that, nothing.
Right.
That's it. Oh, you can get a sonic guard. Ooh. But the resonant arms only finesse and throw weapons. The flourish, the thing that changes your damage to charisma or dex or whatever, only works while single weapon fight.
Yep. So it's just it's an example of like they were on their path. Oh, I thought I was gonna make it back to my healer. I should have just laid on hands. That was dumb.
You should have touched yourself.
Yeah, I really thought I had time, but I didn't. I guess I didn't realize how low I was compared to how much that Reaper dot was hitting me for. That's alright. Just makes the rest of Giant Hold a little bit tougher, that's all.
But yeah, there's definitely things that could have connected that just didn't connect at all.
Exactly. And I think that happens a lot in DDO. Like, for example, why do I have to resummon my falcon or my snowbird or whatever it is every single time if I pass? That doesn't make any sense.
That's gonna probably be fixed this year.
You think?
There's some NDA stuff.
Right. Well, I don't want you to get into that. That's why I'm leaving it open-ended, as in, you think so? Like, you don't know anything, wink wink, you think it could be, you hypothetically suspect. Wow, what was that?
If I'm going to be 100% honest, there's no exact words, but there's something being done that would make it something that they should work on. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can only lay on hands ourselves until it happens.
Exactly. I should have fired off those lay on hands a little earlier.
How would I explain this?
I'm trying to decide if I want to turn my hireling on too really quickly, try to get a heal off before I croaknate. Yes.
You know what? I'm probably gonna leave here and set up for my stream. I just gotta my new Spectrum internet. I want to try out the stream. What is your upload speed on your computer, by the way, when you stream?
Let's see if it.
And I need to check what resolution you stream.
I do 3000, and I send it out at it depends on the game.
Download speed is 3000.
Huh? Oh wait, here, I know what to do. Over here in the destinations tree. It's over 3,000. So my resolution is 1080 by 720, and the reason I do that specifically is because unless you are partnered on Twitch, they at least at the time, they may have changed that since then, but when I first started setting things up, it did not go above that, so there was no reason to send a higher than that to Twitch. But YouTube would actually let me go higher than that. So I might change it and see if I can get above there. And then I do the 30 frames per second, and my bit rate is around 3200.
And your internet upload speed?
Oh, I don't remember. So the thing to keep in mind is that even though I stream during the day, my wife also works online at home during the day, and she tunnels into hospitals via VPNs, various VPNs, and she eats up a lot of our bandwidth during the day, tunneling into VPNs and such. So we have the top tier available fiber internet here in Salina. So I don't remember off the top of my head, but even there are days where this feels like it's really sluggish for the wife.
The problem I was coming into was that my I do everything. I can play the game in high graphics and all that, and start up by OBS, but then I'll open up my stream on my phone to see what everyone else is getting, and then it's like it gets blocky, and sometimes it grays out for a few minutes and then comes back.
So that may or may not be what you're actually sending to people. It may or may not be what your phone can do, because Twitch will downgrade your excuse me.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix that since.
Sorry about that. I ended up having to blow my nose / sneeze all over my hand. Gross. Twitch will downgrade your stream according to your visibility privileges. So, like, for example, you can, like, when you first start on your phone, like, sometimes your phone, for example, will be a little bit behind or whatever, and it needs a minute to, like, kick in the pants and get started. Or play catch up or whatever, especially, like, if you're also currently streaming. Like, if you're, you have some sort of priority set up on what computer or device gets internet priority or whatever, you can have problems like that. Ooh, Ellery lived.
Oh, does that have viewers telling me, like, oh, it's getting pixelated, it's grayed out? And
Well, think about how many times you've watched Jerry stream and it gets like that.
Oh no, mine's way worse. Like I've
Way worse.
Way worse. Like literally.
Are
the
you?
screen turned gray.
You're still on your laptop, right?
Yeah.
Do you keep an eye on your OBS processing stuff?
Yeah.
So when I have personally found that stuff becomes problematic on that side, I have found it to be a compression issue, which generally means that the whatever tool I'm using to send that out is overtaxing the CPU. And
the CPU usage is always really low, though.
Yeah, but keep in mind, depending on how their cores and stuff are set up, it may not matter. So, like, for example, I noticed that if I was using Chrome, like, for the last month or something, that the CPU would ride really high when it came for video processing stuff. And then now that I've turned that off and I switched to Edge, for example, I have noticed pretty much 0 instances of that happening. Like, I have had no real issues, in my opinion, in the last month that I switched to Edge, as opposed to the problems I was having on Chrome.
Oh yeah, I don't use Chrome unless it's for porn.
Is that a song on, like, a variation, like a second chapter of the Internet is for Porn song?
Yeah. Chrome is for porn. Yeah, I actually like Firefox.
I used to really like Firefox quite a bit, and I actually have spoken with the CEO of Firefox a couple of times, but some of the decision trees that they have made kind of turned me off of their tool. Excuse me.
Did they run it with killed babies?
No, it was just like bloatware in the software in different places. Like, the reason that Firefox was so good for so long was that it didn't have extra junk running that Internet Explorer had in it. And then they got away from that core idea, so it took longer for things to load, and things didn't quite look right, and it all was tied to the idea that they added in junk that wasn't needed. Which was why am I wasting time with Ellery, actually? We disabled the traps. My bad. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Nose, please stop. But, that was the reason why Chrome was so good, because they didn't have all that bloatware and junk in it. And now they've started putting that in. And now you're, like, dealing with the fact that it's like, oh, really? Now it's starting to act all shitty. I'm about to have a sneezing, coughing, hacky fit. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it. Always have to like force myself through. The enemy like runs around the corner. Oh no, I need to maybe get one of those air filters running through my office again. I think that helped for a little while.
Those are really nice.
Well, would really help probably if I got my magic cards sorted and sold. Like the big bulk of them. And then that would be probably like 9,999% less dust in my office. Alright, where are we at? We need another death ward. We need another thing.
I'm gonna catch you later. I'm gonna get breakfast started.
Alright, man. Well, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. As always, you're welcome to come hang out anytime.
Sure, I'll see you later.
Alright, have a good one, Tater. Alright, everybody. So what I would like to discuss with you guys is this Hardcore Server 3 change. If you guys are longtime DDO cast fans, you'll remember that a few months ago I did a DDO cast for the Hardcore Server Review 1. I was on that review show, and one of the things that I put out there at the time was I would like to see different takes on the hardcore server. Particularly, I'd like to see a little bit of forgiveness being added for people, as long as the challenge, the overall challenge, also was changed slightly. And I was actually really disappointed when the Hardcore Server Season 2 was just more the same. Right? Like, the differences for Hardcore Season 2 versus Hardcore Season 1 was new champions. Which I can appreciate a slight change like that, but I would like to see a bigger change. And I think this idea of being able to earn extra lot... Oh, see, we let our magic missile guard down for like 2 seconds, and now we took 1,000 million points of damage. Nope, I'm going to see if I can get close enough to the hireling that I can get a heal. I need to reposition the hireling a slightly closer now, too. Stupid Reapers. So, I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on the matter. I actually really like the idea. What? I know I recast Death Ward. Someone must have dispelled us. That must have been what happened. Basically, so and I don't know the details haven't been published, just the general broad scopes have been talked about. But the basic idea, from what I have gathered from other people's posts and comments that Jerry has made, is that there will be a way that you can basically unlock a bonus life. And that you can get up to 3 bonus lives over the course of the Hardcore League play. So, like, for example, and I don't know what these unlocks are going to be, I don't know anything about it, but let's just pretend like it's something along the lines of, maybe it's a favor tier unlock, you know, and at 1750 when you get your first reward, because I presume they're going to continue to make your first reward at 1750. Perhaps you also acquire a second life to live thing, and if you don't use it, then you don't get your next one at, like, say 5,000 favor or whatever. I'm sure they won't be that far apart, but something along those lines. Or let's pretend it's level based. You get one at 5, one at 10, and one at 15. Maybe they all stack, maybe they don't stack, I don't know. But like that, you don't like get all of them at once. Good morning, Emerald Eye. Oh, wrecked. Let's get Durham. I was gonna say let's get Durham moved, but I was too late. What champ was that actually got me? Or Reaper, I guess. A plague. Oh, my allergies are definitely fired up. I imagine it's going to be rainy again tomorrow or the next day. So this is where my argument comes in infinitely, is that hardcore has currently been linked with permadeath, but it doesn't have to be permadeath. Alright, so we're going to have to gibbers. In my opinion, it doesn't have to be permadeath. It could be another kind of challenge. And as long as the challenges are changing, I feel like you can add in some twists, and this being a twist for a season, I feel like could be quite strong. So, like, to me, the idea of being completely... I shouldn't have jumped down. Being 100% unforgiving for things that are outside of your control. Say, like, a lag spike. Right? You have no control over that. Or somebody else Alt F4ing and then your quest lags for 2 minutes. Oh! Punted that real hard. I punted that real bad. I was talking too much about the thing that's on my mind. So, like, to me, I like the idea. I feel like for a hardcore run. I also think if they're going to do the hardcore runs, I would like to see them mixed up more often and have them come more regularly. But I would like them to be ran for shorter periods of time. So, like, instead of it being 3 months long, I would like the hardcore season to be 2 months long. Or sometimes I would even like it to be 1 week long or 2 weeks long. Probably 1 week's not long enough. So, like, one of the things that I would like to see done if I was DDO King for a day is I would have a 2-week hardcore season run. And what you would do is you would pick one character from live, right? One character, and then it would copy. You would be able to do a copy over like you do to Lamania, one time. That's it. And then it's a matter of how much experience can you earn on that character. Like, hey, what's up, buddy? You just missed me getting rickety wrecked.
Yeah, I just saw her. I was watching on my TV.
Oh, so wrecked. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like as long as they keep mixing it up, it's good, and I don't want them to get stuck on the idea that it has to be permadeath as the only challenge to hardcore. Like, Beef always goes on about the idea, like, that he would like to see things, like, you have to be melee. So, like, range power gets a permanent negative value assigned to it. So you can never get your range power up very high. So, builds like Inquisitives and stuff like that are out. And spell power gets reduced, stuff like that. And I'm just...
Sam, you were hanging out with the in Boston with the DDO people, weren't you?
I have in the past. I haven't done it recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I've made a trip or two up in that direction.
Does all their sound stuff, like all their background music and stuff like that there, is that all in-house, you think?
I don't think so. I don't think
Okay,
any of
okay.
that's in-house. I think it's all done externally.
Okay. I was just goofing around looking last night, like, oh, let me see. I couldn't find anything on it. And it was kind of weird. I'm like,
Like, I know all the Sharn music was done by a Lotro fan. Like, he plays Lotro, and he submitted some stuff to them, I think. And
okay.
at least I'm pretty sure that's the story.
They're Warner Brothers, right? Isn't Warner Brothers on there?
Not anymore. They are an
Oh, okay.
independent
Oh.
company now.
Oh, see, I was looking through Warner Brothers. Why I couldn't? That's probably why I couldn't find
Yeah,
anything.
they
Like,
bought
wow,
themselves
Steven-
back. I think Warner Brothers was going to shut them down, and they went, "Hey, what if we bought ourselves back?" I don't know that's to be the
That's why.
case. I don't know it, but I heavily suspect that is what happened. See, did I say good morning, Thunder Kiss? I feel like I did. But maybe I did not. Just 4. I just made a couple mistakes, so start over again. I'm still trying to get the hang of Reaper 4 on a melee.
Have you ever had kids like say stuff to you that's like makes you like want to laugh out loud, but you know you can't laugh out loud because it's not correct to laugh out loud? Like if Reed was younger, would say something like, and you're like, okay, you know, you shouldn't say that, but it's funny. You really don't want to laugh, but you know what I mean?
I don't know if I've ever stopped myself from laughing on a situation like that, because to me, the honesty of babes or whatever, but yeah.
So this morning, me and my niece are going to get coffee, and I got a little music on. I'm just got my arm out the window, and she's sitting over there. All of a sudden, she turns the music down, and she goes, "Can I say something?" I said, "Of course. It's always open dialogue. Say whatever you want." She's like, "Your girlfriend's creating conflict, and she's a sociopath."
Well, I don't know if she's a sociopath, but she is currently creating conflict. But
Oh my god! I had to turn my head out the window. I was like, trying not to laugh for like 5 seconds. I go, "You can't say that."
well, you can.
But I know, but it's just not.
And she asked permission to be frank and
Yes,
share her
I
thoughts.
I know, and I teach
So,
you all
like-
the time. Speak your mind, what your convictions, you know, what.
That
It
was
was just
definitely,
like-
she handled it correctly. She wanted to let you know she had some concerns.
Yeah. And I said, okay, then I said, well, what's the conflict? She said, well, I've been looking at this book. I don't know what book you've been looking at. She goes, I don't know, it's like Men Are From Venus, Women Mars book. I go, oh my god. Alright. And even skimming through that now, she's like, yeah, I found all kinds of interesting stuff in there. She goes, you know, women are, I guess, when I get to be a woman, they can be kind of crazy, huh? I said, oh, yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Again, that's not necessarily the way to put it, but that's the way people tend to put it. Anyway, good morning, Mr. Siggy Poo. And yeah, they like I said, I'm pretty sure they got Daybreak to bail them, or to fund them so they could branch back out. But yeah, I think they are pretty sure they consider themselves at least employee owned now. So like I said, I'm pretty sure that's they're bankrolled by that, at least at first, but now I suspect it had something to do with like the reason why they sold the season passes, I think had something to do with getting out from underneath everybody's thumb.
Is DDO, are they on the stock exchange? Or are they
I
not?
don't think so.
No.
No. They're very babies. SSG, I think, are super young for that kind of stuff.
they in Chatham? Are they in Cambridge? Or are they just for Boston? Boston?
They're in Needham, I think is how it's
Oh yeah, I know.
pronounced.
Oh yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah, they have they're like part of like two or three other like little coding firms share like a coding complex or a little office complex, and I think they're like one of
I know
three or
nothing
four
of
people.
coding and video. I know nothing of that kind of stuff. I just don't know, like 10 programmers, 2 programmers, 50 employees.
Yeah, I don't
small
have an exact number. I remember them, like, when I went there, again, it was during the, 2012, last
Oh,
time I
so
was
8
there.
years now.
Yeah, it was during the Obama-Romney election. And I remember at the time thinking, this is really cool. I could go to a presidential rally. Like, it's something that you don't get to do in Kansas.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I could like, this is gonna sync up perfectly. I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, I can go at least experience it and see what it's like. And it was close enough from my hotel room I could look out the window and see Romney's, like, where he was gonna do his eventually oh my god, I can't even think. Congratulations, you know.
Yeah. Conceding speech.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I should get in there. But it was so nasty. The weather was so bad. And you could physically look out the window and see how long the line was. Like, the line was insane. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go do that.
And the closest thing you could go to would be the Iowa caucus, right? That's the closest thing to you during that election.
Probably now. Right now
That's
would be
big, as in big, as like a big event, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, this year probably not, but in previous years or possibly future years, that's probably correct. Like, yeah, that probably in the future that would probably be the biggest thing in the Kansas area, you know.
Yeah.
But in the future, maybe I'll be able to go to, like, the RNC convention, maybe the DNC convention, like, because people who know me know that I love politics. I find it really fun to explore. So
Yeah, I just dabble. I just kind of just look at a lot of different outlets just to kind of figure stuff out.
yeah, I'm one of those people who have, like, the sick fantasy sometimes. That's like running as a libertarian and, like, winning and, like, just making speeches about how to, like, get shit back together. Like, all right, it's time to get over this Democrat Republican nonsense. Let's get back in the middle ground.
Yeah, I was joking around with the family one day, and I was like, "Oh my god, if I was president, you have no idea what I'd do." And she kind of was like, "I don't want to know what the first things you would want to do." I said, "Oh no, it would benefit you." She's like, "Oh, I'm sure it would really benefit me."
That's right. Oh man. All right, let's get...
Has Kansas? Because you have Topeka and you have Wichita, and you have some pretty good sized cities. They ever held any conventions, RNC or DNC?
I have no idea.
Oh.
The politics here are very
County by county?
smaller here. Just because Kansas is very historically right wing. So, like, for example, my city does have a Libertarian and a Democrat and a Republican committee building or whatever that they get together and they hold, like, little talks or whatever. But they don't really do much as far as I'm concerned when it comes to actually getting things going. Like I said, the state typically will vote in a Republican except for every position except for governor, and then they like to vote in a Democrat governor.
And then they have conflict all 4 years together.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of the idea of the system, right? Is that
Yeah.
it's supposed to be slow to change so you can if the change is important, it'll get done. If the change is not important, it'll go away.
So the Libertarian and the Independent Party, do you think it'll ever come to a time where there will be multiple senators, multiple this, or is it just too hard to get people from one side and the other side to come to that side?
I think that people will transition more and more into smaller parties, depending on which party is getting cut from. So, like, for example, I think a lot of libertarians had a lot of people who are more libertarian in nature, like myself or whatever,
More conservative?
they end up being more conservative, and then when they look at stuff, they end up voting Republican, not necessarily because they want to vote Republican, but that there's either not a good libertarian candidate running, or they feel like the odds that it's very difficult for the libertarian candidate to get the position, the numbers they need, is very hard. So, like, for example, I actually was a guy who, and this is getting a little bit more political than I'd like to do in a morning talk, but, like, for example, I was a guy who didn't like Donald Trump as a Republican candidate, and I ended up really starting to warm up to Gary Johnson, because I did not care for Hillary at all.
Can't trust her.
Well, you couldn't trust Donald Trump either. Then that's one of the main problems, is that his tactics of confuse and obfuscate is not necessarily the best tactics for clear and open discussion, right? Like, that's one of the main problems.
I always want my commander-in-chief to make me safe. I don't want to have to worry about wearing gas masks going to school like people in Israel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I've seen it.
Again, it's not... That kind of stuff is not normal around the world. Like, that level of safety, that level of security is not something that's very common.
I don't want our space program cut for 8 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just...
Yeah.
It's just me.
But, so, like, I really thought Gary was the best candidate, and I was a pretty loud advocate of the three candidates. And people are like, "Oh, you're throwing your vote away if you voting for Gary Johnson's voting for Hillary, voting for Gary's and voting for Donald Trump." I'm just like, no, man, I'm voting for the person I think will do the best job and do the things that I care about the most. Like, that's who I'm voting for. Like, oh, no. So there's a lot of that. So I guess the answer to the question is, as long as one party is getting cut harder than the other party by a third party, then I don't think there'll be a third party kind of take off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the reason why Bill Clinton won was because Ross Perot was on the ticket, and he wasn't taking Democrat votes away, right? The votes that he gained was the Republican votes. I gotta move back here for heels.
Plus, he was pretty radical. I mean, he had some pretty outlandish stuff he wanted to do. It's like, man, just, hold your horses, everybody.
Right, but again, the people that were voting for him were typically overwhelmed. Like, so Sig here says, I'm a lib leaner that voted for Pro. Right, but you weren't. Are you a registered Democrat, for example, at the time? Because most registered Democrats didn't switch to Ross Perot during that election. But a lot of Republican voters switched over.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Republicans. Just like... Sir. But that's what I'm saying. That is exactly what the comment I'm talking about, is that what you may lean one way or the other. Think of yourself as neutral. But you have a preference, you have a leaning. But if you're, it's harder to. I feel like it's harder to get a person from the left-leaning side to cut bait and pull people out of the party. The left-leaning party, the Democratic Party and stuff like that, are a lot more file and rank, in my opinion. That's a good way to put it, than the people on the right.
There you go.
The people on the right are more likely to branch out from their party and vote for people. Sig disagrees, which is fair. You're welcome to disagree. And so for those of you who don't know how the chat rules work here, as long as you are polite and you would like to discuss something, you're welcome to do so. The left is always bickering with itself. I agree with that. There's the old saying, I guess it's maybe not that old, but the left is the snake that's eating its own tail. But they close ranks better than anybody. I mean, like this last election cycle, right? For example, it was almost the most cutthroat Democratic nomination process I have ever seen. And you're going to get lots and lots of people closing ranks. Like, I don't think the Bernie bros are going to... I don't think they're going to hold fast. I think they're going to hold their nose and vote whoever the Democratic nominee is, whether it's Joe Biden or somebody else, because they have to defeat Donald Trump. I think that messaging is too strong. Now, the only reason that would change, and the only evidence in my lifetime that this could change for me, is if Bernie Sanders decides to break off and run third party.
He should. His own party sabotaged him, so why would he even want to be part of that party?
Well, he's never been part of the Democratic Party. He's gone under their banner, but he's never considered himself
Well, that's what I'm
a
saying. I
Democrat.
don't have that banner near me.
Well, as I said, he doesn't think of himself as a Democrat. He never has.
But
Who's on this Republican ticket this year? Is it Putin, Trump again?
Honestly.
I love it when people say Putin, Trump.
Well, the collusion that never happened. Yeah.
That and the whole.
But Biden and his son go over there and strong arm some dude about stuff and then brag about thinking it's funny. And it's okay.
Well, that was the Ukraine.
Yeah,
But there's like a lot of actual reports now saying where Putin was actually spending money trying to get Hillary elected because he felt that she would be much easier to deal with.
Manipulate. Yeah.
But I don't know. Again,
Because her foreign policy was horrible. So the Benghazi guys died. All these people, that's up on her watch. Of course you would want her.
all right, now we're getting a little bit out of the realm of neutral discussion and into the anger side. So let's roll that back. Let's roll that back for the AM stream. But like, I don't know. Right now it is Trump. Before this, the protesting and the rioting stuff, I would have said that I actually am leaning that direction this year. My problem with Trump has always been, his tactics of confusion and obscuring and personal stuff. Like, for people who know me, know that I'm real hard line on when it comes to infidelity. That's like a hard line for me.
I agree. I do.
And those are things that bother me, but I think a lot of the actual nuts and bolts policies have been quite strong, at least for me. I've never had a president that has had policies roll out that I tend to agree with more than not.
See, here's an analogy for you. Like the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? The baseball writers want to do it. Like, there's some guys that should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't in the Hall of Fame because writers had a bad dealing with them. Like, in the interviews or when you deal with them. It's like, it's about their play on the field. It's not about your personal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
There's so many guys that should be in Hall of Fame. That's not what it's about. You look at the bylaws for Hall of Fame, it does not say anything about, personal feelings, off the field misconduct. It's all about what you did on the field.
yeah, but
There's no but. That's the bylaw. That's what it has to be voted
Sure,
by.
for
And
that.
I didn't like Barry Bonds. He was a jerk to me, so I'm not voting for him. No.
For
He's
that,
awful.
I understand. But for your president, it's not. Those are not the rules. The rules are, did you earn my vote or not? And that's. I don't know if Donald Trump has earned my vote. I'm inclined to be a wait and see who's on the Libertarian ticket. Right now, I can tell you that nobody has made. Try to find a not vulgar way to say this. No one has got me excited on the Libertarian side right now. I know that they're in their final nomination process. So, like, for me, I could have stayed, or like, I don't like Joe Biden.
No. He's a flip-flopper.
A lot of them are. One of the positive things I'll say about Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, hate him or not, it doesn't matter to me, but he's done his best to keep his campaign promises, which is something that I've never... There's always room in Supreme. That is true. I didn't think about that. He was not on my short list. Let's see. Fight Prime says political talk is boring. If I wanted to listen to that, I would listen to it on the AM radio. I don't necessarily disagree, but I think sometimes it's interesting to have a discussion so you can share that stuff, especially even though we're doing it in a fun way where hopefully everyone can get their stuff out and share their opinions. And I'm not preaching to
it's
you.
the election year,
Well, that's the other part of it. It is so close to the chest, right? Like, it's right there. And it's hotter and liver in our minds than it's ever been. So, why I can value and appreciate not wanting to talk about it, and again, I try to keep it out of the morning streams and more in the evening streams. I also feel like if it transitions that way, then we should talk about it. Let's have this discussion in the Thunderdomes with weapons and electric walls. I'm down. I'm in.
Heck yeah.
I'm in. As long as it's like foam bats. Like, the blood is real, but the odds of getting murdered are low. Putin paid for both sides. He just wants a weak America, and Discord is the easiest way to accomplish that. I agree. So... yeah, it's definitely a thing where, like, every country messes with every other country's election to the best degree that they know how. It's not cool, but it is unfortunate reality.
And sometimes people need to understand, like, we aid other countries so much that Commander-in-Chief is a big, big thing,
Oh my god. I rolled a 3, a 2, and a 1 so far on this diplomacy check. Another... oh, 4! We're going the right direction at least now. 19. Okay. Oh my goodness. Just hit him with the stick. Oh, get him. Alright, so we gotta roll this pretty good. I don't have a diplomacy item on me. I'm not sure if I can get there. I don't remember the check number on this. Doesn't really matter, but we'll see if we can get it.
And the Dow is just jumping right now, man. Stocks are going to the roof.
Well, the unemployment rate is at 13% today, or yesterday. They announced it, and that is...
yeah.
really, even with all the civil unrest, is really boosting consumer confidence. Alright, we'll see if we can get better than a 17 here really quickly, and then if we don't get it at there, we're just going to ignore it.
Yeah, I got some friends that play big time in the market. I'm like, how much did you buy that stock for? They're like, oh, like $1,100. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I play on Robinhood, man. I'm like $20 a month. I just goof around. I'm not trying to,
Everybody's got the game that they like to play. High stakes or
Yeah.
low stakes.
Wow, dude. I didn't realize. I mean, I know it's out there. It's big time, but
Alright, yeah,
you
we're
know,
not
like,
getting
this
there.
is- Are you doing giant hole?
Yeah. All day. See how much of this we can get through on this morning's stream, and then I need.
This is Crucible, isn't it?
Yep, the Crucible.
Oh, this one I can't do that one. I was there for like 3 hours one day, and I finally just left the course. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't open doors. Higher link, wrong one. Nope, sorry, I couldn't do it. Then that swim, I was stuck inside twigs and spikes killing me. I'm like, no.
It's all about patience and learning the quest. That's what it's all about. Alright. Let's get a shield spell up. Neg level protection's on. Alright, we should be good to go.
The other things I don't do well in DDO is like knowing what to buff, what to like what to make sure you have ready, which monsters are doing what, you know what I mean? I should pay attention to the wiki more, I think.
My biggest concern right now with a lot, like 99% of these quests that I've been doing, is I want to make sure that I have a shield spell running and a energy resist running to be able to stop the caster reaper. It is on the most traveled video series. All the giant holds on the most traveled series, and the reason why is because I do it every life. Giant hold's too good to pass up, and this quest is like 50 some thousand experience. Oh, tripped. Why you gotta be tripping, yo? I will admit, I'm probably going to get killed a couple of times in this quest. Which is not, not something that you enjoy, but you just have to be able to recover. Okay. So, for me, the biggest challenge of this quest is this lever and interacting with this lever. Specifically, if you jump and you get the mobs up top interacting with you, and more importantly your hireling, it can be really problematic. So you have
Shoot down on you.
No, exactly. So you have to be really careful to make sure that you can either deal with it or that you don't get in a situation where that's the problem. My skin is green. I'm Orion. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek lately. But,
Why don't you pickle that guy? Make him a pickle.
I don't have a way to do that.
Oh, you don't do that. You're not a pickler. That's right.
No, I'm not. More of the bird person.
Can they even be pickled? I wonder.
Yes.
Oh, they can? Okay.
Yes. Alright. The other trick, again, the reason why you have to be really careful to make sure not to aggro anything is because your PC will keep that item in their focus orb until you fix it or change it, or somebody else has to change it. So you have to be really careful to make sure that the things that are in that focus orb are what you need to be focused in the focused orb. So now that I jumped to get around this Plague Reaper, there should be mobs now activated on the top. And if they start attacking Durham, for example, gotta hide for a second. I want to get a heal here before go back in on that Plague Reaper. Durham's focus will change to the creature he's attacking, as opposed to stay on the lever, which means when you go to activate Durham, right, he's gonna try to interact with that monster instead of the lever, and it can become problematic.
See the range those guys from down below or cast on them.
Well, you just try really hard, in my opinion, not to jump. So, like right now, my focus orb is empty. I'm going to tell Durham to interact. So it should interact with his last known item. Then you watch the mini-map, and you'll see that he's running all over the place. Hopefully he'll run where he's supposed to run and open this lever. He should be in the right general... Oh, there we go. Now he's at least on his way back to the right spot. Now he's in that alcove where he's supposed to be. So, now his focus orb is on me. So if I tell him to interact, it's a guard symbol, right? And now he's trying to fight these guys up here because now that's his focus. So it's all about thinking how the hireling is interacting with the world. The hireling essentially is just like you, except dumber.
Pretty much.
Well, unless you're V-Love, and then it's a toss-up. Oh!
It's equal. It's about equal there.
I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure once you've activated the guys up top are active. There could be more mobs spawned or something like that, but I've always worked on the impression that that you get X number and that's how many you have to deal with. Hey Charmed, welcome to the stream.
Guys up top respawn unless they're dead. They're dead.
I believe that's correct, but I don't know 100,000%. Another plague
If they didn't
reaper.
respawn, it might be better just go in there and kill them all up top real quick, get it done. Man.
If you could,
If you're like if you're a range guy, you know what I'm saying.
if you could reach them all, it probably would be okay, but I don't think you can reach them all. Just lay on hands why we don't have the plague curse. Never had any inclinations to stand on an activated trap more than 2s. Oh, more than 2 seconds. Yeah. That's fair. That is totally fair. I can understand wanting not to be on a trap, where the hirelings certainly seem to enjoy standing in traps sometimes. Come on, Durham. See, like, Durham's way over here. So hopefully he is not being attacked. Yep, now he's running back to the lever down here, and the door should hopefully open. Perfect. Alright. No, this way. I don't have the thing memorized or anything, so I always have to check to make sure that the socket I have is appropriate for where we're going next. Oh man, I have definitely stood in active traps before. Not gonna fib. It's definitely been a thing that I have done. I swear I've been tripped more this life.
So if you came in here with no hireling, how would you do this? You couldn't do it?
There is a way that you can sprint boost through things. Mr. Cow, I think, has a video on it from the way back machine. Trying to think, but you kind of like sprint boost around. I don't know. I've never had good luck with that method. I've always found this method to be the most consistent way for me. You don't know how I remember all this stuff? Like the maze, for example, is just years of doing it. And some of it I lost and I had to relearn. But think about it this way, right? Think about it like this. I do giant hold basically every single life, right? It takes me a little more than a week on average to do a life. So I do this quest once a life for the last, or let's call it twice a month. Twice a month for the last, 2 years?
12
Probably.
years?
No, I haven't been repeating or on the TR train that long. I'm faster than that, but not a lot, but I'm a little faster than that. But for a little over 100 lives, right? So, I mean, it's just a matter of if you want it done bad enough, you got to do it.
So you do the whole chain of giant hold, everything, right?
Yep. I sometimes will skip tour, but now that they changed tour to where you can, you don't have to like do the dragons every time, the flag. Sometimes I'll still do tour, like quick run through tour. I don't usually do like dragons.
Oh, yeah, I ran last time.
Yep. Back up, move my hireling. And for me, everything is for soloing is about how you interact with your hireling, how you take care of it, how you treat it. Because for me, never dying is not realistic. See, and I just killed my hireling, so now I have to look at things from a line of like, all right, I got to get this Fear Reaper killed. I got to get this hero soul killed. Can't insta kill him. Probably. Yep, he's got a death board. So we go insta-kill this guy and then get back to the hero soul. Stone Guard's annoying, but not mission critical just this minute. Although he did just get healed all the way back up, so looks like I was wrong. Should have been mission critical. Trying to decide if I want to do this or raise the hireling first. I think I want to raise the hireling and get filled up on hit points. But again, if I was playing with people, different story. You know, like if I could rely on a person to do stuff, or if there was somebody who had a time schedule that more aligned with my time schedule, things would be much different. But I don't. Staff is taking a beating. Taking a beating. But for the record, nothing that I do, you guys can't do. Like, I'm not doing anything that requires any extra special skill. Like, maybe practice. I'm not going to say there's not practice involved. But, like, I don't have any magic trick to getting stuff done or anything like that. So anything that you see me do, you guys can do. Which is why I made the most traveled series, so people can see how to do some of this stuff.
I think the least traveled one was funny.
Well, the least traveled one is definitely the series that has the most, like, oh my god, can I get through this? But they're different. They're different takes, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of static groups and stuff do those quests. They do the whole, crypts, all those together. They do all these ones together,
Well, I think I did the Crypt series in the most traveled series, but there are definitely quests that I don't do that often, and like becoming familiar with how to do some of those quests are definitely a thing.
Getting the vials and the water and the one to get, yeah. Some of those are just a headache.
The quests with the vials are actually less complicated than people make it. I think I'm gonna just ninja star some of these guys for a minute. So what a lot of people don't realize is you can right click on those doors, for example, and it'll say examine and use. If you use them, they will blow up without having to put water on the vials. It just takes time. But a lot of people don't think about that. I just try to be patient. If I have a superpower, it's overcoming the fact that I'm by nature a very angry person and get really annoyed at things. And it's something that I've fought with my whole life, learning how to control my anger and not let it control me. So then I try really hard to, especially in DDO, it's easier for me to control in DDO than other things.
Yeah, I've never seen you angry, so it's like, wow.
Go watch me play HOTS.
No.
Go watch a HOTS game. Like, for whatever reason, HOTS, or Heroes of the Storm, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, is one of the games that...
Oh yeah, you're the big dragon in that one. I remember seeing that a couple times, yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, that game in particular can set my teeth on edge like no other.
What's the range of the bird? Can you send it that far?
Yeah, you can send it pretty far.
Oh.
Like I'm gonna kill that guy over there, hopefully. Yeah, the bird killed that guy over there. And if you have the bird ranged attacks, then I'd be able to do it all with my shuriken, but I don't have ranged bird attacks. I have melee bird attacks. Requires you to rely on a team, and since people can't control others, it can lead some people to be upset. No, HOTS is a MOBA, like League of Legends or Dota 2 or whatever. And yeah, Fuzzy Boots kind of summed up a lot of it. But also I feel like there's a lot of... The mistakes that you make are far more punishing than they are in DDO. Like, for example, in DDO, unless it's on the hardcore server, right? Here in DDO, if I make a mistake and, like, let my shield spell go down, the penalty typically is some time, right? That's the end of the penalty, like 30 seconds here, 40 seconds there, maybe a minute, whatever it is. Your team is down. Your team is down a person in HOTS, which being down a person in HOTS could be like it's just like being in a penalty box in a hockey game. Like, you have one person down in a hockey match. You have two persons down in a hockey match. It could...
5 minute major.
Yeah, it could... You know, I hate to use hockey, you know, because... Oh, shoot. Alright, gun, hat, ghost. I need 1 second here to remember these. But being down a person in a game like that is much different than being down a person in DDO, in my opinion. It's far more brutal. So, like, if I make a mistake and I get killed, it feels more like my fault because it punishes my teammates at a different level. Fuzzy Boot says I have 10,000 hours in Dota. Jeez, that is too many hours.
Wow, what? How long is that?
10,000 hours? Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
Is that, I don't know. It's too early for math.
You want it in years? You want it in days?
Whatever.
1.4 calendar years.
Wow.
Or 416 days. And that's obviously 24-hour days. I do kind of like this way.
Next mission, Sam, we're gonna do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just playing DPO straight and no nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a... I used to do monthly fundraisers where I would do a 12-hour stream, and then depending on if we were to hit different fundraising goals, I would go an extra 6 hours after that, up to 24 hours. But those were so punishing. And it has nothing to do with like the sleep or stuff like that. It has everything to do with my head. So I had to stop. But I should definitely do more fundraising type streams. It's just hard to...
I know about the long hours like and stuff, like when I was younger in the studio stuff, you know.
Right.
I'm just a lonely like writer guy hanging out there, and there's like the artists, and like they want to, you know, drink and party. I'm like, man, I just want to get this done. It should be like 6 hours and be out of here. You know, it turns like 3 days. You're sleeping on the couch, you know, just like, come on, please, just knuckle down, let's get this done. Send Trixie home.
It's all about the... So we're gonna need to refresh our death ward. We need to check our shield spell here. I mean, it's all about the music, man. You gotta feel it when you feel it, you know.
And of course, as I'm the one who's not drinking and doing those things, I'm trying to get the work done so I can go do some other work or go home. I'm like going to get food, coffee, pick up more booze. I'm like, this is just insane, man. No wonder these people don't do nothing. They put one record out every 5 years because they're doing this.
Inspiration, my guy, inspiration. That's why Taylor Swift has got an album every other week.
That is a hard working person. She got like 6 production assistants. Like it's just, yeah, that's a machine right there.
She knows her purpose in life, and she's on it.
That's it. That's the thing. She started at 16. You know, local shows, got her own merchandising. That's what I try to explain to young people today. It's like, you know, this isn't like 1985 where you can just throw a GarageBand CD together and go drop it off somewhere. I mean, the labels now, they want to know how much you're selling at your local shows, how many T-shirts you're selling, this, that, and the other. If you say like, oh, like I sold 4 shirts at one CD, they're like, no, we can't invest. You just can't. You can't send a team out there, invest, all this stuff. It's a whole different world now. You know, do you write your own material? Do you not write your own material? Do you need a writer? Do you need a ghostwriter? Do you need this? You know, all these things just come into play all the time.
I need a ghost singer. I'll write songs. Somebody sing them for me. Also, someone do lyrics. Also, if someone would be so kind to also do the writing for me, that would be great.
Like my girlfriend's sister that one day.
Oh man.
I still laugh about that. Every once in a while I remember to laugh about that.
Actually, I'm out of lay on hands. Let's go ahead and shrine. I wonder if this would have helped actually if I had put the right trinket back on.
Oh, I do that all the time. I'm like playing with something like, I thought I had Death Ward on. I'm like, well, no, I got my jump trinket on or something stupid. I'm like, man. What's the one with the energy drain on it? Where do you get that one? I can't remember where you get that one at. We've never gotten one.
The trinket with energy drain on it? I'm not sure.
Is it a trinket or is it a
I don't know.
necklace? That had energy drain on it.
Excuse me.
Not energy drain. What's it called?
Yeah, I had a phone call. Sorry, for those of you who missed that. My friend Travis just called. I think we're gonna get wrecked, actually. Yeah, let's get away from this place for a minute. Let's come back around. Get our hireling down here. I mean, we're dead, so it's fine. But that was not a good moment to be distracted with a phone call. Durham, I need you to heal yourself. You can res me after, but heal yourself now. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I have a couple of friends that they know that they can call me, and I'll answer the phone, and even just to make sure there's like not an emergency or whatever. I always answer if they call because I know that I'll worry about them if they call me. And they should all know my streaming schedule, so they shouldn't call me unless it is an emergency, but apparently that was not the case today. Oh, also we red skulled the dungeon too. Nice. Nice.
Afternoon.
Hey, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. I was aware. I did apologize when my phone started going off, but I did make it clear that it was because there was a phone call. Ben's one of those stupid people that call me and make me think there's an emergency also. Ben's the reason I think
almost never call you.
Which is why, when you do call me, I believe it's an emergency. Ben is the reason.
Never call you.
Right, and therefore, when you do call me, why are you calling me? It's probably an emergency. Am I wrong? Does that not compute? So, So to give you a rough idea of how Ben has ruined my life, we were sitting there trying to watch the first of the new Star Wars movies. Tobrell's phone goes off. Tobrell mutes his phone. My wife's phone goes off. My wife mutes her phone. My phone goes off. I'm like, oh my god. I look at the phone. Because they didn't care. They're like, I'm watching the movie. I don't care. People could be on fire. I don't care. I'm like, holy crap. Someone just called all three of us. Like, somebody's on fire. Like, what is... Like, there's an emergency happening right now. I've got to... I go into dad mode. I get up. I walk away from the movie. I head over to, an area to, like, what's going on? Where do I need to go? What's, who's in the hospital? It's been... Oh, I've just been kissing kittens. I wanted to let you know. Like, you son of a bitch!
Almost never call you.
Yeah, exactly. Almost never means when you do, it's an emergency. I can't wait until you, have these kind of moments. Because you were, traveling. I'm like, oh my god, he could have been in an accident. And they're just, going down the list of contacts, trying to call people. Anybody to see what's going on. I go to a dark place. I'm a person that is what I do. I think about the worst case scenarios.
Well, speaking of worst case scenarios, I'm making some lunch here, and it's calling my oat meal on my little calorie tracker app.
Oh my goodness, tell me no. This is right
It's
up there with Jim Crow on the list of terrible things that are happening.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's literally the worst ever.
Yeah.
I don't think it can get any worse.
Exactly. Welcome, Mickey. Welcome to the stream. Oh man.
Catch this fight.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
What's going on?
Like tablespoons are announced too.
I don't know. Pints a pound, a world around. That's about the only one I know.
So I wrote myself a note yesterday, and I wanted to tell you this today. I just found the note to remind myself. So there's a security guy named Sam. He's like 6'9", 360. He's from Savannah, Georgia. He's one of the guards at one of those studios. He's super cool, known for 8 years. And the first time I ever encountered him, I had a T-shirt on, an old D&D T-shirt, and it said, "Chicks love playing with the dice." And it's got 2 D20s on it. And he asked me at that time, like, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons." He goes, "Oh man, that's that devil, worshiping game." I said, "Okay, Nancy Reagan, right?" I said, "You didn't play that when you were a kid?" He goes, "Man, I'm from Savannah. Man, there's no way my grandparents would let me have stuff like that, man, especially at the church." And so I always call him an Umberhulk. And he keeps going, "What's an Umberhulk?" I said, "Man, if you look it up, you're an Umberhulk." He has these big lamb chops that kind of curl around his face. And so we finally, I talked to him the other day, he finally found out what it was. He was all upset. I'm like, "What are you upset for?" He goes, "Man, they're gray. I'm black." I said, "I know. But you're like a black Umberhulk." I said, "If you're a black Umberhulk, like, you're like massive and like you're mean and scary." He goes, "But I'm like nice and not scary." I gotta understand that. But walking upon you, you have that tactical vest, zip ties, gun, taser. You're an opposing forcer,
Well, yeah, it's your
So every time I
job.
see him, we always banter back over every time we see each other. "You playing that White Devil game still?" I go, "Of course I play the White Devil game." It's so funny.
I have never known of another game that had got the press that Dungeons and Dragons did for the for the crazy hate. Like, for example, my mother-in-law, she was raised Catholic, and her brothers played, obviously, or her brother played, and she had a priest come and sit in on the D&D game, right? And then the priest wrote an article in the local paper about it, and it was talking about all these good things about D&D and like all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, he's like, "But I could see where the devil is that got an influence in this game, and if you let your kids play, like, definitely putting their souls at risk and all this stuff." And I'm just like, you were just talking about how they're acting out, or they're group role playing like hero fantasy stories about saving the princess and blah blah blah, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, and now you're like tacking in on the end, like, but this definitely the devil's game. Like, even then.
I've got caveats on that. One, J.R.R. Tolkien was Catholic, and he wrote The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and everything was an allusion to how all the turmoil was going on throughout the world, which D&D is heavily fantasy-based.
I didn't know he was Catholic. I know that.
Yeah, he is.
Or
Or
was.
rather.
Was,
He
yeah.
is, depending on how you want to say it. And so he was Catholic and wrote The Lord of the Rings. C.K. Chesterton converted to Catholicism because of the fantasy genre and J.R.R. Tolkien's influence, and then he wrote Language of the Wardrobe series. So, and then you flip it, right, and you're looking, on the other hand, you're looking at J.K. Rowling, who I can't remember what her religion is. If anybody happens to know, that'd be interesting to know. I think she's atheist. Anyway, she wrote Harry Potter, but there's a lot of things by exorcists being put out that, yeah, don't read Harry Potter because it has incantations and it can't contain like a real spell, and if you draw the pictures and if you say the words, you can get some things going on and get some demonic influence. The likelihood is extraordinarily low, but it's still a possibility. So D&D is not the only.
Right, but you don't.
Music industry the same way. Like Alice Cooper, his father was history teacher, mom was like pastor preacher lady. He grew up in the church alive, and he was never into Satanistic stuff just because he wore makeup and sung music. Everybody thought he was like a Satanist. It's like, no.
And I'm not putting everything on the Catholic Church, for example. I'm merely stating that I have not known a game or anything else to that degree to get that kind of reputation than Dungeons and Dragons. Like it just got such a bad rep, and I really it is hard for me to understand. I mean, I get it. I understand, like, when they were building the worlds and stuff, like some of the early books, you know, they put what they consider the proper devil names or whatever in the books and stuff like that. I could kind of understand that, like, in one hand, but on the other hand, you're playing a kid's game.
Well, they have games like Grand Theft Auto. It's like a crazy game. You know what I mean? All kinds of bad stuff you can do in that game. And they didn't get much pushback for Dungeons & Dragons got, and still gets to today.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto is full of lust and greed and pride and wrath.
Yeah, chaos and just debauchery. I mean, it's all kinds of crazy stuff.
I mean, that's 4 of the 7 deadly sins right there. It was pretty hard to commit all 7 at the same time, but 1 or 2.
Tried.
You watch
right?
me. You watch. Oh man. Yeah, I think the main reason that I wrote a report on it. There's I'm gonna go all the way back to town and get my stuff fixed. There's God, I'm trying to dig out some of the details. But there was a couple of kids that were already socially having problems that started playing D&D. They got into drugs, and then that one kid like wandered off and while he was LARPing, basically in the steam tunnels, and disappeared. And he they feel like he went into the Satanist side of things, and that's where that myth really kind of like took off.
Tom Hanks' movie didn't help. You know?
He's made a couple, you'll have to remind me.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say.
Hold on. I have it on DVD. Hold on, I gotta look it up real quick. I can't remember what it's called. Can I not remember this?
I swear, if you say that Forrest Gump is satanic, I'm gonna laugh hard.
No, it was like 84, 83.
I don't know. I could see satanic overtones or undertones in Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. Kill a cat. Like, it's right there. It's all right there, Ben. I'm just saying.
No, the movie's centered around a clinically retarded individual and his life. It was actually quite inspiring.
Yeah. Da Vinci Code? That's not it. The Da Vinci Code happened much later.
Oh, Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, yeah,
that happened.
Angels, no.
That was much. Like, D&D started getting a bad rap in the 60s. Alright, here we go. The members of BAD found help from many conservative Christian groups who tried to claim that Dungeons & Dragons was linked to violent crime. Their actions did lead the game to being banned from certain libraries and schools across America.
Aces and Monsters, 1982.
Oh, okay. I did know that movie. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie, but I've heard that movie before.
Yeah, I have it on my DVD somewhere. He was a college student who plays with friends in a medieval fantasy game. He ends up like thinking it's real, acting all goofy in the streets of New York, kills the dude, stabs him and stuff.
Alright,
I'm
so
pretty
this
sure
is
Dungeons and Dragons, for like the vast 99.9% of the majority, is linked to the munchies and drinking too much pop.
That's
and
definitely
eating
true.
Too much food.
Too many Funyuns. So yeah,
Macaroni and cheese.
This is the guy that I was talking about here. Ivan Pulling shot himself in the chest when his character died. He like wandered off in the steam tunnels. He went missing, and then he shot himself to death.
Isn't that crazy sounding? Just how like.
Well, but he was they started doing all sorts of drugs, and like it was an insane. It was an insane.
I mean, if you're mentally disturbed, you're gonna do some weird things. Like there are
Right.
people who are mentally disturbed and their football team loses. They go off and burn and riot.
Or worse yet, they win.
Yeah. Can you imagine Samus now dies in the wilderness? Also, Samus gets up. I'm out of here. Like, where'd Samus go? Where's he at?
You just hear a loud
Or
bang.
Or say that guy who was, I don't know, 109 years old and the Cubbies won the World Series when he was a kid, and he vowed that he would survive until they won the World Series again.
Yeah, this isn't.
maybe so.
This is an old story where a guy killed himself. It's not DDO. It was the Dungeons and Dragons. It was 1982.
I think that's what the movie was based off of. Mazes and Monsters. I think that's what it was. But the guy didn't kill himself. He just had been a mental institution.
Yeah,
He killed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a game shop where there was a guy who was schizophrenic and just not easy to be around. And there's some younger kids, teens, low 20s, who were ADHD and just kind of annoying to be around. But yeah, they have to do something too. They can't just sit at home in the closet.
Definitely true.
Why did I say to do this one on this setting again? All right.
There's a guy in high school I knew, and his uncle had schizophrenia and all that stuff, and he would call us sometimes and go, "Hey guys, don't come over today because my uncle's like about to be taking his meds." So like, okay, don't tell us twice. We're good for them. But other than that, he was always great. He was always fine, normal.
Up and down, wax and wanes.
Yeah. I'm sure medicine's changed now. That was in like 1990, 91. I'm sure it's a lot better now.
I think it's the scheduling of the medications, and we have second generation antipsychotics, which have a lot fewer side effects. But if you stop taking your antipsychotics, you get nasty side effects.
But you're better. You don't need to take them anymore.
Is it a lot hereditary?
There's a hereditary component, although
Okay.
it's not inheritable. But if it's in your family, especially if the first generation relative, then you have a significantly higher chance of having it.
I found that there's my aunts and uncles and my grandparents on that side, they're all alcoholics. I'm opposite. I'm very rarely drink, and I was a bartender for a long time, and I still very rarely drink. I'm on alcohol day long. When I'm off of work, I don't want to be drinking anything. I'm done drinking.
Stupid alcohol is what I do for work.
That's
I
right.
don't want to be
But
working.
I have bartender friends that were the opposite. Like they'd be getting off 2 o'clock, we close the bar, and it's 1:45, they're across the street buying liquor to go have an after party. I'm like, dude, we've been working 9 hours. What are you, what?
After party.
I can only imagine you're a bartender, and then you go home, and you're at your house, and you have a party, you're doing a barbecue and cooking all this food, and people are like, "Hey man, you got any beer?" It's like, I'm not at fucking work.
It's
Language.
Oh, man.
Language, please. It is the AM stream, but I do appreciate your sentiment.
Oh, sorry. I always check it the wrong end. Okay.
That's okay.
Hey man, I'm at work.
We
I'm
got
not-
it.
I'm
You
not
don't
at
have to
work.
redo your joke. It's fine. I do value and appreciate your sentiment, however, and your passion is strong.
I'm not at work. Go get your own beer. Hey,
Right.
you got a liquor cabinet so I can mix up an adult beverage? It's like, I'm not mixing that for you. Go do it yourself.
Not every night, but sometimes you still do have a good time. But it's sometimes it's a Tuesday night. I'm like, guys, Tuesday, Wednesday. What are you doing?
Well,
You know,
alas,
also-
alcoholics come in all sizes.
alcohol is a social drink, and if you drink it responsibly and moderately, then you can have it any day of the week.
I had to fire one bartender one time because he hadn't been drinking at the bar, but he's going to the bathroom every 15 minutes. I was like, okay, he's doing blow. I know he is. I know. So he comes out and he's constantly. I said, dude, you can't do this. He said, well, I'm not doing anything. I said, if I drug test you, if I get you, what are you going to fail or pass?
Turns out
So you're
he's
around,
just
you're around money. You're around knives, cutting utensils, better to cut lemons, limes. Yeah.
Turns out
So
he's just actually hooking on the side.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll pass.
Well, interesting thing about cocaine, and just follow me on this one, is with drug addicts, a common way that HIV is passed is not necessarily through needles, because everyone's like, oh, needles, I'm not sharing needles. Of course, you get the guys who will share needles because it's like, oh, I trust it. Yeah. Anyway, so people who have a cocaine straw they snort through, it can cause damage. The little flecks of blood can go down, and that's actually enough to transmit HIV.
Wow.
I also, real quickly here, for those of you who may not know,
That's scary.
Ben is an actual doctor, believe it or not. So when he's doing this stuff, why it is coming from a medical place, keep in mind he's not giving you medical advice. Although I feel like this is probably fine, right? Like, don't share your straw when you're doing cocaine.
Yeah, so don't do cocaine.
And another thing is, they drink like crazy. Like they can drink like a lot, and like it doesn't affect them. So that's when also you can know when someone's on it.
Oh man.
That has a lot of complicated things showing up in the ER. Curiously enough, treating both is actually pretty similar when they're inpatient, so that's convenient.
This one guy used to come in all the time, Danny DeLutha, and like he would drink normally. He had like 3 or 4 Long Islands, and he would kind of get a little tipsy, and then we get him a taxi home. The times that he was doing cocaine, it was like 9 or 10. Sometimes I tell bartenders you can't serve him anymore. But he's fine. I said, right now he's fine, but later on he's gonna be in a bad way, man. We can't do this. We can't overserve, man. Can't do this. No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a kids. As long as they're not endangering others, I don't care. Do what you like. As long as you're not hurting
you gotta
anybody
be
else.
careful with alcohol, though. If you do too much alcohol, then it can cause a lot of damage. The recommended amount of alcohol is no more than 2 drinks a day for men, or 1 drink for women, and then 14 drinks in a week for men, and 7 drinks in a week for women.
Oh, so
That's
you
just
heard him.
General guidelines.
You heard Ben, folks. Get all 14 drinks in at once, and you're fine.
That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
And
This is the glass gotta be the 12 ounce, the 14.
standard serving of alcohol.
It's your Samus style. What is this right now?
Viking mug.
8 cups mug. I've only had 1 glass. I don't know why you're so mad at me. I'm blind now. I can't see anymore, but come on.
Yeah, it can cause blindness. It can actually cause nerve damage similar to diabetes, how the distal nerves go dead. And it can cause tearing and rending in the stomach and esophagus. If you want to look up a fun thing called Rohrhoff syndrome.
Wow.
Or
1 pint
the
of whiskey.
gentler version, the Mallory-Weiss syndrome. Those are fun things to go look up.
We do to our bodies, I guess, huh? Jeez.
And it causes
Only one you
liver
get.
failure.
Currently, anyway.
Yeah, I had an uncle who got a liver failure from alcoholism.
Painful way to die.
Yeah, it was like 1972. I wasn't even born yet. I was -3. I wasn't even born. And he was a coal miner. So like he has some serious complications.
Fuzzy, I have to say you got me there. You got me with that one right in the funny bone. That landed exactly correct. Oh man. My eyes have calmed down, but now my nose has calmed down, but now my eyes are itchy. Oh my goodness.
So I have some relatives that do methamphetamine. It's like, why do you want to be up for 5 days in a row?
I'm already up for 5 days in a row. I just want the time to go faster.
I've got house cleaning that I need to do, okay? I just moved in, I've got things set up.
I ironically made a joke about about that this weekend to Ben, and I was going to make that my new diet plan. Get out there and
Do some crystal.
just
I mean, it's effective. It'll certainly make you lose weight.
there you go.
You lose your teeth and have sores on your face.
That's weight. That's
You'll lose your
weight.
friends, all your money, your job, your bank account, your friends, your acquaintances.
Or it'll be fine. We don't know. Trial or error. Maybe I'll be. Maybe if all that stuff, like, maybe if I was high, my pain levels would be down and I would be more popular.
By the mechanism of methamphetamine, it'll probably amplify your pain.
Ah, of course. Well, then that's a no-go. Although it could also be a clever lie by my wise friend, knowing the exact right thing to say to keep me away from anything bad. But no, in all actuality, that'll probably just cause your migraines to be worse. Ugh, can't be any worse. Can't take it. Never mind. Stay away.
I remember when I was bartending out Lost Isle, this island resort. One of the guys that came out there all the time was a doctor, internal medicine specialist, Dr. Nori. Funny guy. And so we were going to see him one time. I was getting my insulin stuff, and he's like, "I'll be right with you." One of my patients had got a call that he had passed. This and that. I said, "Oh, okay, no problem." So he came back about a half hour later. I said, "Everything, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh." All these different complications. I go, "Whoa, dude." I was thinking like some harsh, like, is he homeless? He was a pharmacist. He was a pharmacist for 30-something years. And he just got dabbled in his own pharmaceutical stuff, I guess.
Yeah, don't play with that. A lot of dentists, they actually die by accidentally overdosing on nitrous oxide. When they use all the procedures, they just have giant tanks that they get filled every couple weeks or however often. And, you know, they take a sniff on it, it's like, oh, that feels good. And then, you know, you come back next morning and there's Dr. Dentist lying on a patient table dead because he had too much nitrous oxide in his lungs and not enough oxygen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What a way to go.
That is just that. When that doctor told me that, I was like, "What?" He's like, "Dude," he's like, "Jason, come on, we're human beings."
Yeah.
You might but all that work you do to get to that point, like, and you just want to. He's like, it's the way it is, man. That's just the way it happens. I didn't think it was like common. I guess it's not very uncommon, I guess.
People are people.
That's
a magical thing that makes you
yeah. We're
better.
starting over again.
You know, there are doctors who are serial killers and nurses who purposely
Kill their patients,
purposely infected needles with HIV and infected patients. You know, it's people are people. Some people just happen to be evil. But some evil people just happen to be in positions where you expect good people to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you expect, like, you know, you go to your firefighter, or you go to your policeman, or your doctor. You don't think like, hey, you know, they have it worse than you do. You don't even know. In a way, if you think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just because you're in a position that you think those people are saints doesn't mean they have to be. Also, just because you're in a position that you would normally associate with scum doesn't mean that they have to be.
I got a detailed question. I always wondered this. Like Manitoba Crater and the other ones, how come the mini maps don't really do anything?
The mapping
You know what I'm
technology in
saying?
DDO
Like,
has never been particularly good. Especially on situations where, like, inside-outside maps. They've improved for sure, but they still are not great.
Like this one here, I've been replaced a few times before and getting like lost, like trying to kill monsters. People like going to different areas. I'm like, where are you guys?
Right.
Where's that interest at? You know, you're like, what?
Again, the
Mini maps are useless.
inside-outside maps really struggle in DDO. Oh, speaking of struggling, struggle is real. Let's get this Death Ward running.
A hard fixture thing to do, or just too much time?
It would not be time efficient probably, or cost effective. Let's just move our hireling. That guy died again.
Uh-oh.
Madstone Crater may be too much for this difficulty. Except for the pit map, that's flawless. Yeah, maps are not easy. and DDO has never been especially good at it.
So are you at the office, Ben, playing DDO on your laptop?
Ben doesn't play DDO.
Oh, me? No, I was still in the apartment straightening and sorting things out. I was doing some computer stuff.
Also, DDO's too new of a game for Ben.
Oh, you doesn't play DDO? I thought, oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I haven't had really a lot of time to do any games.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right.
Huh, that's
We,
weird.
we all can't be Samus. Just get to stream and have fun.
Oh yeah.
Go, but, yeah. I'm gonna have to have a talk with my ISP because my wireless signal. You know, they promised me 200 down and 10 up, and I'm getting like 230 down and like 20 up. So I need to call and complain.
Yeah, but
Wow.
just like meteorologist is Latin for liar, so is ISP.
Okay, that's why I'm getting.
Being a doctor, we could. Don't let him trick you. Don't let him trick you into thinking that he doesn't play DDO because of time. I have seen Ben make time for things like that. No, Ben doesn't like video games that are. He is very much a. He summed it up for me once really, really well. And I'm trying to remember exactly how he did it. He. Video games for him are a mental release. And that mental release does not come from challenge. So a lot of the video games are for checking out and relaxation, and competitiveness and stuff like that is not
On the agenda.
yeah
Yeah, that does not help me relax one single bit. So, say a game like Mario, you're going around, you're jumping around with Koopas and Goopas heads. Alright, that's kind of fun. Mega Man, you're running around, you're shooting things, you're just getting the next upgrade, you go and beat the game. Okay, that's relaxing. Games like Goblins and Ghouls or Ghosts and Ghouls, where you do the jumping around, it's just like a massive
More arcade style.
challenge. Or like, say, fighting games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, that kind of thing. You're fighting against another person. That is challenging, and I don't enjoy the challenge. I enjoy a game where I can sit down, I can just check out, play it, win, and have a super easy, relaxing, easy going.
Sports games at all? Any sports games at all?
No, I don't really know the sports. I never learned any of the rules, or they were never taught to me.
Gotcha. What about like Civilization, like turn-based games like that?
This is gonna shock people. The newest turn-based game that I played, which I actually enjoyed, was called Birthright.
Okay.
I think it was a game from something like 94 or 95.
that's a pretty old game.
Yeah.
I haven't
Like
played
Nintendo
turn-based
64,
games.
right?
I haven't played turn-based games for a while. It was on the PC, and at the time, it was like it was one of those bargain bin games. But at the time, you know, it was done so well. Like they did a bunch of things together that were really well. Like you had your map, your kingdom, kind of like your Civilization style. Then you built roads and made alliances, and then you had your dungeon crawls, which, I mean, the dungeon crawls really weren't that great, but based on what was there, I think, you know, you could do what you could do. Then you had like a war style where it was a simple grid pattern, but it actually was pretty interesting.
I wonder if you like a sandbox game, like where you basically start out with, you got an axe, you gotta chop your own wood, make your own house, make your own bows and arrows. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Alright,
I don't really
let's-
enjoy doing that.
Let's come back to the seer. Let's see if shrining the hirelings maybe make the difference.
Now, some of Sam's other streams, There's a game where you're on a planet, you have to like fight the bugs and build a rocket and fly off of it.
Factorio.
Factorio, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
That would be kind of interesting if I could like sit down and have a lot of uninterrupted time and build my thing and plan it and build a thing. That could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, Factorio is the game that I kind of... Oh, great. I gave up trying to... I shouldn't say gave up, but I don't stream it like I probably should anymore, because it is a tough game to like...
The graphics aren't that great, right?
No, the graphics have actually improved quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
No, I personally I feel like it's like the market is already kind of saturated for Twitch streamers in that market. So you to grow in a game, the way that you do that is to the way that you get a game to grow as a Twitch streamer, in my opinion, is either the game has to be pretty new. Oh, we all died again, right? Come on, Durham, give me just like... No. Alright, yeah, we're gonna go back out and try again. I think R4 is too much for me to solo on Madstone Crater. The wrong Reaper or the wrong champion is just... I can't respond quick enough and get the guys away from the Seer soon enough. That's really disappointing. I thought like the actual fighting doesn't seem that bad. It's the protecting the Seer just doesn't feel realistic on this setting as one person. But anyway, there's a lot of games if you try to get into them, you need to already have a loyal audience. So like somebody like Voodoo could probably move into another game a lot easier than like I can, because Voodoo has a very strong and loyal core group of people who will watch him play anything. Like literally I logged on today and I watched him go through the auction house. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's not particularly exciting gameplay. You know?
Well, you can do things like that if you have a magnetic personality.
Right, and sometimes that's fine. Sometimes that can be a lot of fun to do. But sometimes it's not. And like today I watched him do it for a while because, you know, I was hanging out. I was trying to get woke up. I was trying to like get stuff going. Yeah, Voodoo has a morning thing where he just talks about stuff going on in the game. That's true. He does his good morning coffee thing.
That tutorial thing he did about the experience, how to get for your crafting, was great.
Yeah. He covers those kind of things really well.
Makes you feel like he's talking to you. He really does. Like he's talking directly to you. Not like a group of people like you. When he does those things.
Right. So what I'm saying is that there are things when you're like moving into a new game, when you're especially trying to figure things out, having an audience already in the can. So like what typically happens is people filter into the person that's got the most views, or the first couple people with the most views, right? Like that's where things start at. And then things so if you already have an audience ready to go, then it's easier for you to continue to grow your audience. So then once you already have like 5 or 6 people in your channel watching the game or whatever, or enough people that put you above what they call in web programming terms above the fold, or in newspaper terms above the fold, then it's easier to continue to grow your audience and get that to keep going on, right? So because Voodoo has an audience that are locked in and loyal and ready to go, he could work into a second game pretty easily. By my audience is also very loyal and stuff like that, but the lock-in is a little bit less. So like I have people who will sit there and watch me play Factorio, and they'll be like, I don't understand why you play this game, it's boring. I'm like, but you're hanging out with us and we're talking about other stuff. Like, yeah, but it's not a game that I would ever play. And then I don't have the same numbers as Voodoo does, like the raw numbers of that super locked in audience. So then I may not be as far up on these other games. So like the games that I had the most success with that are not DDO are days like when Remington and I are playing like some random video game, right? Because then we have the lock-in audience that come in, help put us high in the list, but there's not that many people streaming that game. And then people are like, well, here's a guy who's already got, you know, he's in the top 2 or whatever, so let's check him out. Voodoo can be very funny. I don't think his humor is for everyone at all times, but there's been days where he has got me going. Then there's times where, like, sometimes they get in this thing and I'm just, it doesn't compute to me.
Nobody in this game is funnier than the damsels. They are so funny.
I'm a little bit hurt and cut, but okay.
Why?
Cause I am the funny. I'm the funniest one.
It's a totally different funny. There's like Seinfeld funny, which I don't think is funny at all, and there's like Home Improvement funny, which I think is hilarious.
Tim Allen?
Yeah,
Tim Allen, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna make you go back and listen to Cocktail Hour shows. The difference is that the difference is who you have to like contribute and bounce off of. Like if you watch somebody that you have the right kind of chemistry with, and this is where Voodoo really succeeds, is because he's got good chemistry with a lot of people that are available more often.
Yeah, because he rages with his guildies, so they're all together all the time, usually.
Right.
Yeah, I watch different body painters, and you got people like Andy Ray Cosplay and K-Pike Fashion who just knock it out of the water. And then you've got other ones who are... Mizzy Rose gets a big audience, but I don't really think she's great for engagement. But I'll let you use your imagination when she has a bigger audience.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to my girlfriend that too. She's like, how come this girl has so many followers? I go, look at her. What, you really need to ask that question? I go, let's go to another streamer who does the same stuff, and why they have less followers. Look how much better they are, but they're not visually appealing for this game. So it's not fair. I go, you can't tell somebody how to spend their money,
Right.
or what not to like.
Well, you
If
can,
people,
but
whether
you
men or
have to
women
be
or
the
physically
government.
attractive, life is automatically easier for them. Am I going to complain because of privilege? No, it's just that's an advantage they have and they use it. Good.
Talking skills, charisma. I have good talking skills and charisma. I'm not a great looking person. I'm average. That's it. Bottom line. I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm not Tom Brady. Okay. Bottom line. But like you have to take advantage of your advantages. And some girls, I tell my girlfriend all the time, I say, you have such an advantage because you're like beautiful and good looking. But I don't want to go that route. I might not say you have to use that route, but don't think you don't have it available. You have it available. Some people don't have it available. They have to go cut corners and do other things. It's just the way life is.
I can't believe I got picked by the double Plague Reaper again.
Sure, I'm going to forget that's there.
I guess I'm glad that it happened now as opposed to when I'm trying to defend against the bloody, or defend the seer again.
Crap, but that's round 4.
Try to figure out how we can improve here.
Yeah, one of my buddies today texted me, goes, hey man, check this girl on Twitch. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what about it? He goes, look on the bottom how much they did to donate to her. It's like $2,000, $3,000, $500. I'm like, what?
That's pretty nuts.
I'm like, to play what? What, Fortnite? Oh man, you gotta be kidding me.
It's like the biggest streaming game, man. Like,
Just, I'm like, you could buy a car. You buy a timeshare or something, put some money down.
What was the that one lady who she was selling her bath water for like $30 or $40 for a little jar?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I gotta get in that business. Take all sorts of baths. But anyway, as I was trying to say, like, when you have people to help elevate in stuff, right? We should change the subject or distract me too much. That's part of the stream, man. It's part of the stream, is getting that conversation going. But like, being able to consistently have the people that you that you play off of and stuff like that makes a huge difference, which is why the damsels are so successful. Is because when they stream, when they play, they have 3 people that are bouncing the ideas off of and going. Like, some of the funniest streams I think I've had in a long time, Tobrell has been around. And sometimes even, like, Witty has been around or something like that. People who maybe not even are playing DDO. And you just get going and you get in that rift and it just dials up to 1,000. Which is why I think I have a disadvantage for a lot of like my daytime streams and stuff like that, because you don't have those people to help play off of. You have to be like, I rely heavily on the Twitch chat to help drive the conversation, and that's part of the reason why I'm willing to have a conversation about anything, you know, because I need the audience to help me guide the conversation, because most of the time it's me by myself. I'm talking about the game, I'm talking about what's going on, what I see happening. You know, I used to use Twitter a bunch, but Twitter is kind of, I'm almost getting to the point where I want to just not even look at it anymore for a while, which is not something that I've ever wanted to do, is just cut myself off from knowledge. But I'm at that point now that the people I follow on Twitter and most of it magic news, some political news, but not as much. Other streamers, stuff like that, D&D stuff. But now everything is political on there. And I'm just like, even for me, as someone who enjoys political conversation, this is too much. It's overwhelming. Even for me. And I'm just like, I feel compelled that like I really can't, or I don't want to make a political statement because somebody out there is going to not like it. Someone's going to be upset about whatever it is that I say or do or whatever. And I just want to be consistent in my opinions and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, if you say something, you're going to make somebody mad, and what's that going to cost you? Like, I can't have that cost me viewers right now, because it's what I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to grow my brand. And as long as people have a good time. But at the same time, I can't tell people, hey, we're not talking about that right now, because that's part of my brand, is covering all the, everything you want to talk about. We're about it.
Marketing, if you go from radio, it's like marketing, advertising is huge, but sometimes the market just can't happen because it can't dictate it.
Exactly.
Kind of...
So, I don't know. Things are... I would love to have a partner that would be consistent in my timetable. You know what I mean? Somebody who helps get me go and makes me roll. Which is why, like, the Cocktail Hour with Lessa and I feel like I could go back and listen to any old episode of the Cocktail Hour and just get rolling, because Lessa and I, we feed off of each other like very few people I've ever met, in my opinion. And it was so fun. Tobrell and I, similar thing. Like, the two of us can get going and just really go to town. Oh my god, I hate some of these things. All right, so let's just clean up the mess. Again, Fear Reaper and another Fear Reaper. Awesome. So this here is going to have dots for days. Ellery already is down. Yeah, the stick build may just not be able to handle this first seer alone. Although it doesn't help that my guy is also being screwy today. You gonna slam some heals here, there, Durham? All right, let's give it another shot. No, I dialed it down to R3, which is usually where I'm very comfortable at R3 typically. It's just you have to Like, look how they beelines. Like, Carnage Reaper's like 1 hit, 2 hits. And I just don't have the DPS to pull him off. Look, I still don't have him. He's basically dead. So you have to get a window where you don't have the wrong kind of Reaper or whatever. A bad champ. You're subject to the RNG generator.
Yeah, look, it's already 11:30 in the morning. Ugh.
Yeah, we're
Early.
1:35 here. Almost time to break my fast for the day. And the weekend, really.
Every time you say fast, I think like you're like a Benedictine monk or something.
Well, I mean, kinda in the sense that, intermittent fasting, you're intentionally putting your calories at a certain time of the day, and trying to keep your calories intake at certain times so it's not a...
Being a diabetic, I don't think fasting's really in my repertoire.
Actually, there's a lot of really good science when it comes to that. Diabetes and fasting, and also keto / paleo diets. A lot of really good information on that. There's a guy, Steve Cook, I think is his name, who has a really good story. I guess he was actually in the ER, almost died with his directly related because of his diabetes, and it was like his wake-up call, and he went paleo and intermittent fasting and stuff like that, and now he no longer needs insulin. He keeps his blood sugar in check with his calorie intake and stuff like that. But yeah, he does the fasting and he does paleo and keto stuff.
How long are you fasting for? 12 hours, 24 hours?
Me, I do a 4-hour eating window and 20 hours not.
So I haven't eaten since last night, so I'm gonna see how far I can go.
Again, you kind of have to work into
I'm
things.
tired and I gotta do stuff, and
Yeah, you have to work your way into things. Like, I didn't start by going to a 4-hour window. I started by going to an 8-hour window. Alright, that looks like we're going to fail again, probably. Yep, 1 hit with the Plague Reaper. Be patient, try one more time. If not, then I'm just going to bounce out of here and move on to the next chapter. Like, I can do the next 2 quests before it's time to end the evening stream. I could bounce on this guy for another 20 minutes.
I remember my second year of coaching high school basketball and football. We had a new nutritionist and person come in, had the kids' diets all switched up, and then like a year and a half later, that person moved on and got a new one, and it was like a totally different regimen, like totally opposite. And I remember trying our athletic director at the time, I'm like, man, what? I said, you gotta find one that's like all the same. Because these poor kids can't go from like high protein diet and then now it's like no fat diet and they're this diet. It's like just seems counterintuitive. Like, which one's the right one,
It varies. It varies on what you're trying to do and what your goals are. Yeah, Beef, this is definitely one of the days that I would agree with you that it's not the best. But it has more to do with the build, I think. Like, if we were on the Inquisitive crossbow build right now, it would be a different story. Like, I'd be able to pop off a no holes barred or whatever it's called in Inquisitive, and it would be fine. Or if my UMD skill is a little higher and I could pop off heal scrolls once with a lot more consistency. Like, it'll get there pretty soon, but right now my UMD score, this says 80, but it's more like 70, 75. Just trip. Just tripping what the bird can do. Again, it's
You really have any rogue in you. You get some of the quarterstaff stuff out of the rogue tree.
Well, I'm trying to be pure. I'm trying to see what it's like.
15% attack speed's in there, isn't it?
There's a attack speed one in there somewhere. Here on the plus side, we're able to get the Plague Reaper on us as opposed to immediately beelining to the guy.
Hireline. Or the seer, yeah.
The seer. I think that's the biggest challenge with this, especially on this one right here, is that they beeline so hard to the seer, and they don't. It doesn't matter how much you hit them or poke them or.
Yeah, you can like cast firewall and anything like these, do some area effect damage on them, right?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't. I do have this key blast thing, which is pretty good. It's still not enough to like get their attention. And I could. Oh, thank you. Let's say I could probably. My trip score is not very high. I feel like it's only 27. I feel like quarterstaff builds should have extra bonuses to trip. Look at that. This Durham basically used his whole mana pool to keep that guy alive. Crazy. Alright, how are we doing here? Let's get a fresh Death Ward. Other thing is, I think we probably could have salvaged that previous run if we were a little bit closer to the shrine. I could have gibbers, but I felt like we were so far behind that if I used the gibbers there, that it would not be very salvageable after that.
This is fun. I'm switching all my school accounts to personal accounts down. I've got like 60 gigs worth of stuff to transcribe and write over.
Wow.
I guess I'll teach you to do everything with personal account or school accounts as opposed to personal accounts to start with.
Yeah, it's alright. School account was free.
Get an assistant. Delegate.
Get an assistant. I think he's a ways away from having assistants.
Oh yeah, I cannot afford an assistant right now.
Think you're the assistant right now. Oh wait, let's actually go shrine.
How about a little brother? You got a nephew or something who can do it? Give him $30 a week or something. Here you go.
$30 a week.
Can do this one.
That's how you get left.
Jason's talking about how he's sending his assistant on like a month vacation here in Hawaii, a month vacation in Mexico, and then he goes from, "Do you have a cousin that you could pay $30 a month to like do you?"
You think if I couldn't get my 12-year-old niece to do what she does, I'd be like, sign me up. Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh man.
Especially the economy the way it is right now. Everybody's looking for work. Hey, make you a deal. You know, something.
The economy, I'm pretty glad that my brother's finally getting out there and doing his thing.
Well, again,
Of course,
positive
he
news.
wasn't set back as far as he thought he was because he was expecting to go to Peru on a vacation. So the international lockdown saved him boatloads of money.
I don't think he was as far behind as he believed either. He told me that he was planning on planning on being doing stuff this whole year, so
The
think
reason why you picked Peru?
he's into Peru ladies.
Oh, okay.
Did I get that aggro shifted?
Okay, I'm installing Office on my device. Okay.
Okay, I think that guy's attacking me. Hey Durham, would you please do what I ask you to do when it comes to the seer and like protect him slightly? I'd really appreciate it.
Solo.
It's all about the pools, man, when you're on Reaper mode. It can be fine or it could be a pain. I've had fast runs and I've had long runs. This is a long run day. Again, I think it a lot to do with the build, a lot to do with the pools. The assassin went a lot quicker because, you know, half the time you're able to just assassinate. Relying on the 1 minute cooldown bird assassinate ability or insta kill effect is rough. I've always talked to my hireling. It's just a thing that I've always done. Try to treat them with love and respect. In my opinion, half the time they seem to act more capable, in my opinion. If I give them human feelings, then they work better. Durham, what are you doing? Why are you killing me so much? Stop. Protect this guy. That guy's a non-factor. Just cast the healing magics on that guy. That's all I need from you.
Back. I'm gonna go check the mail. Yeah, man, can.
That's pretty early. I also have realized that one of the disadvantages of the monk build is I have no access to giving resistances outside of like a wand or potion or something, which is just not feasible. It is definitely a weakness, especially on these kind of quests. Come on, bird. I need you to kill that guy fast. Thank you. Elemental Fury is exactly the kind of guy that would just crush the seer so fast. I do really like the dance, though, that they do. Not sure how that breaks crystals, but I'm glad it does. Let's keep him alive, Durham. Alright, nice. Now I think we're actually in pretty good shape to finish up at a reasonable time now. The last seer does not, I feel like, is pretty easy comparatively. Oh boy. Infernal Pack. Another thing, actually, I suppose I should mention this, although I think most of you guys probably already know, but if you're going to be soloing Reapers, you've got to get the hang of the champs. You made an extra account so you can help yourself in quest. That is a good strategy. You know, I've talked about Remington's account numerous times. I use it primarily as an opener, but I've also used it as a as like a rescue account on occasions. I've done that. If I how to put it. If I had the computer capacity and the willpower, I would probably pike along a hireling bard quite a bit, and that bard would always take care of the I'd be able to do all the trapping. I'd be able to get all the bard songs. I'd be able to do all that stuff that you kind of do. Jeez. Like just all that miscellaneous catch-all stuff that you do. Right? Well, it definitely makes the quest go longer, especially if you're bringing both guys through the whole time. You know, like if you need your person to be your trapper, you know, but you pull them up or they die and then you bring their stone till you need them, stuff like that. It could add a lot of extra time for sure. But also, if you that was a bad attack. Go back and get a heal. Sorry, I forget what I was saying. But it can add some time for sure, but also like in the future, for example, having someone that can open you know, like the various capstone quests in the Necro Chain, for example, right? That can often save you a ton of time. You know, like you're in the mood to power level for whatever reason. Just having somebody that can sit there, log into the party, jump in and open, you know, what is it? The Bloody Crypt at 6, the Cursed Crypt at 12, the Shadow Crypt at 9. Like, those things are all, like, good things to have. If you don't have the ability to open on Elite, I guess having an account would be okay. The problem with doing it like that is you have to be level appropriate, so then you have like a bunch of different guys at different levels, and that's not nearly as helpful. Alright, man, have a good one.
Yeah, you take care and have a good time. Well, you know what I mean.
Oh.
Alright, you guys. I will see you guys later on today sometime.
Alright, have a good one.
Alright, man. You guys be safe.
I'm gonna try. Oh, I gotta go to the shop tonight. It's gonna be good, but I need to make sure to take time to put together some magical gatherings. Need to take some time to make some standard decks and put them together, but just don't want to. They did! It was pretty awesome, actually. I hope they can get that technology figured out for, I'm just hitting all the wrong buttons, for the other cloaks too, the other cosmetics. Because I'd much rather the cloak look like the icon, or the icon look more like the cloak. I don't know if that's a automatically generated technology or if they made these icons specifically. I suspect that they made them individually, but I would really love it if they were built differently. They were they automatically generated? Alright, come here. Need to clear this downstairs aggro before I go upstairs. Did you not start? Didn't start. Well, I just did. That's part of the reason I really would like them to get that technology in place. Alright, he's on me, he's on me, he's on me, he's on me. Alright, I think we're good. Jerem's already given the ultimate sacrifice to defend here. Trying to decide if he's taking damage from like regular attacks or if it was just like an occasional pop. Hey, I mean, sometimes that's all I need him to do. Sometimes I just need him to be a distraction. Alright, yeah, it looks good actually. Yeah, so I feel like, except for that first seer, I feel like we probably could have done this on R4. I just didn't have the willpower to continuously sit there and hope for and fight through the 10,000 spawns. To wait until we get lucky through a pattern where we didn't have a champ that we couldn't get dealt with in time, or a reaper that we could get taken care of quickly enough. That double fear reaper just really kind of put it over the top for me. Maybe if we had had the void, maybe if we were top tier Henson instead of Bird right now, it would been more feasible. I'm not sure. I feel like it's close either way. Probably should have had him heal me before I shrined. Oh, no, we're good. Alright, so the other thing to keep in mind is that we cleared the front on the R4 take of this quest, but not on this version. So we're probably going to have to deal with some amount of trash here. Durham, didn't I tell you to stand still inside that cave? I feel like I did. I mean, clearly I didn't, but I feel like I did. Man, I wish I could get more of these Fear Reapers and stuff to have no hit points on the R4s. It's the game's way of apologizing. We're like, we realized that we were a little harsh last quest. We're sorry. Here's like 4 Reapers that have no hit points. Have a good time. Oh, time to lay on hands. Lay on hands. Oh, we got a bad man. I need a. There we go. I need some love here. Do we see the bad man? It's gotta be this guy, right? Yeah, it's that guy. Bird. Thank you. And this whole time, Durham's just like, la da 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 da. Then all of a sudden, he kicks into high gear. I never felt safer. Why couldn't he have been like this the whole time? This quest would have been easy.
Here's what I need to do.
Here's what you need to do. What do you need to do?
Oh, I'm getting doing Lincoln update and all that good stuff.
Oh.
Oh, that's not the right one though.
The source of the Mad Stone's shenanigans. Yeah. 100% was the first seer. The first seer was probably the primary time sink. This quest took way too long, but I think we would have had that for like a helper where Durham was fired up like he was there at the end for that first seer. I think we could have shaved a lot of this time off. What do we end up with? 43 minutes. We spent, I feel like, at least 10 minutes on that first seer. Ancestors' bones! Alright, let's try to knock out super fast these next two quests, and then we'll probably have to call it a morning. Said I have some errands I have to run for tonight. Unfortunately, my real job kicks back into high gear. Speaking of, let me double check something here really quickly before we start the quest. But if you happen to be Magic the Gathering arena people, yeah. If you happen to be Magic the Gathering arena people and you don't have a local game store to get your Friday Night Magic at Home code from, send me a message. I'll be happy to send you a Magic the Gathering arena code. I usually end up with like 15 extra or so, 20 extra, give or take. So I have plenty for you guys to get your hands on if you would like them. All I ask is that you do actually hit the Friday Night Magic at Home button. And play the event. You don't have to send me the picture. I'll take your word for it.
Well, I'm gonna pop off and do some work in the garage now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring me some lunch.
Well, I actually ate lunch. I had some hamburger meat that I mixed with oatmeal.
Let's not talk about eating yet. My stomach is like letting me know that I'm over time. Like, you're supposed to eat at 2 o'clock, Samus. Like, not today, stomach. Learn to
and
deal.
then I had a
He's gonna just keep talking about what he's eating. You son of a... You monster.
well, anyway, it was quite nice and relatively healthy. The only unhealthy thing I had was, well, I guess you don't hear that either.
Now quickly people have figured out my week. Oh, here comes just like all the I had this for dinner. I had this for like you. Ah, the torture is real.
Okay, well, I used a hamburger meat 93% with oatmeal, and then I had a smoothie with Greek yogurt, a little bit of water, a cup of fruit, and some protein powder. And then I had some chips and salsa. The chips were the most unhealthy thing that I had.
Yeah, chips are bad. We're just rocking a little bit of Giant Hold Quest, listening to people tell us about what they've eaten while we sit here and fantasize about going and making something to eat.
Well, since you're on keto, I imagine you're probably going to have something that's heavy in protein and fat.
Actually,
Not gonna touch bread.
almost entirely fats. I'll probably have
Pound of bacon.
a quarter to an eighth, probably closer to an eighth a pound of ground chicken, and then I'll have 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks, and probably some like cream cheese on a slice of cheese, and that's basically what I will have for dinner. It's basically, or for the first meal. It's basically what I eat every day now. And it's pretty much setting the ratios correctly for like the fat. Trying really hard to get to that 80 or 90% fat ratio. I don't know if
Do you use any method to track your macros?
I tried looking at some stuff, and a lot of the stuff is just not set up the way that I would like it to be. So now I basically just do all the math and keep track of it myself.
Okay, so you use a book then?
No, it's I calculated what my meal is, and then if that's just like the meal I eat every day, then I like, all right. So like, for example, my the 3 eggs, the one whole egg, and the 2 yolks, and the chicken is right around 250 on overall calories. Theoretically, there's no carbohydrates in there. So like, I eat that, and then
There's a finite is negligible.
yeah. So like, because I've done the math on that meal, I know what it is. And then like, my evening meal is usually something very close to that, but I usually have some fat bomb that's about another 200 calories. So like, I can keep a pretty reasonably close idea of what my calories are, but it's mostly because I know what my meals. I've already done the math on the meals.
So basically what I'm hearing is you did the math once, and any more than that you don't track it because you eat the same thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So like, I can be like, oh well, this was a 200 calorie meal or whatever. And recently I've had to switch from hamburger to, I didn't have to switch, I've chosen to switch from hamburger to bison, and I haven't redone the math on bison yet. But I've been considering it hamburger, but the hamburger is a little bit worse for overall calories. But the bison is so a fun fact for those of you who may not know, if it's labeled bison in the United States, it's supposed to be, according to the FDA, grass-fed, grass-finished. So if you're a person who, like me, who's trying to stay away from the grains and the sugars and the meats and stuff, you do not want to be eating a grain-fed cow if you can help it. Because you are what you eat, and your cows are obviously what they eat as well. So you actually end up getting sugars in your protein because of how the cow is raised and fed. So by switching to a protein that's labeled bison, it is actually healthier for you because it is grass-fed, grass-finished.
In other words, the cattle have diabetes, and you get extra sugar because they can't get rid of it.
Basically, you're not that far off the truth. It's not diabetes. It's more of I don't know the exact right words for the science, but yes, essentially that's it. So you can actually end up, even though you think you're eating like a really sugar light diet, and you're eating all this protein, but you're like getting your cuts of beef from like a regular, like a Walmart or whatever kind of grocery store, and you're not getting the grass-fed beef, you could actually end up eating far more sugars than you think you are eating.
Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna go check my food label and see if it reflects that there's sugars in it. Probably won't.
Probably won't.
Because the amount of science they have to actually put into that is minimal.
Well,
Yep,
that's
total
an
carbohydrates 0.
Yeah. But, you do that math one time, you're like, a pound of cow is this many carbohydrates, but then but that's not when you're force feeding it, 10 times the amount of grain that you should be feeding it, So, yeah, those things are really weird. So I need to redo the math on bison, which I'm trying to eat a little bit more often. But other than that, my diet's very consistently the same
I've been,
2 meals a day.
Trying to eat half of my like 1 meal a day with fish.
I would like to do that too. If I lived someplace where the fish were fresh, I would definitely be a lot more on board with that.
And I get either frozen salmon or tilapia.
Yeah.
Cook them up in the cast iron, and they come out pretty nice.
Yeah, I tried. I was trying swordfish for a couple of people's suggestion. I think Beef recommended it. I know my sister-in-law recommended it.
Well, of course, Beef would recommend swordfish because they don't want you to eat them.
It's true. But so I cooked some up and I tried it, and it was fine. I was expecting it to be a different level, and it to me it tasted very similar to most other fish. Not as plain as like a tilapia, but very similar. But I don't know how much the sense of smell impacts fish, for example. But to me, a lot of fish taste the same. So like I like a lot of different fish. But I was really hoping it would be something really crazy.
Well, I like to flavor my fish with either some spices like, say, Old Bay's or Lowry salt. I always get sodium light. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, like either lemon or orange squeeze. Yeah,
see, I have to be really careful with that kind of stuff, on the carbohydrate stuff. Like even Larry's, or Larry's, or however you say it. I was always told, apparently, the incorrect thing, so now I'm constantly trying to fix it. But even that has like carbohydrates in it that I'm trying to cut out. Like right now, I'm trying to keep my main goal is to keep my fat content as high as possible and keep my carbohydrate count under 10 grams of carbohydrates a day. So
yeah, for you folks listening, that is extreme. Make sure you talk to a dietitian or nutritionist before you do anything like that.
Yeah, it is extremely, like let's see, I've been doing this for the last almost month, and in the last month, in change or whatever, I'm losing something like 4 pounds a week.
Oh, nice.
So like I
haven't heard you cutting weight in a good long time.
Well, it's because it doesn't, like, I've just not cut anything. Like no matter what I've done, it just has stayed on. But this is doing some cutting. But really, it's more to do with cutting weight is part of the goal, obviously. But there's some really good studies out there about the ketogenic diet and migraine pain, especially with the super high fat, like the super, super high fat diets, which I'm trying to get my body into, but it is so tough getting so much of your calories from those kind of fats. Like the 90 to 95% fat diet apparently has some amazing things with neural regeneration and pain, neurological pain, stuff like that. Murdered teriyaki. Said I like that stuff. Teriyaki is too sweet for me, but other than that, I'm a big fan. Why? I'm even wearing my jump outfit. Like, come on, people. Put on my jump clothes. Nope. Jump again. Hey, we did it. We learned to jump. But yeah, get out of here. Go do your things. Appreciate you swinging by, as always. I hope you have a good day. And we can talk about boring food science stuff anytime.
Boring science and things. For people who are interested, the FDA recommends that 50% of your diet comes from carbohydrates, and then 20% from protein, and then 30% from fat, as a good rule of thumb. But then again, there's more than one way to do things.
This week.
The primary thing is to do what works for you, especially when it comes to weight loss. It is complicated science.
Yeah, and I'm not pretending to be a dietitian or anything like that when it comes to stuff. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm hitting a lot of different things. I'm reading lots of different sources, trying to figure out what thing will work. I'm trying, like I've tried paleo. I've tried just like exercising until I think I'm gonna die. Like I did 2 years of like hardcore exercising. An hour warm up of cardio, and then an hour and a half of heavy lifting, and then another hour of cardio, or half an hour of cardio to cool down, 5 days a week, and I lost no weight. And I just was like, what is going on? Like, I've done all this exercise, I've watched my diet, my calorie intake is low. It just was not something that was helping me. And this does seem to help quite a bit. So I probably have 15 calories. Like, the number of calories I have in my tea is not a big deal because my tea has no real carbohydrates. But honestly, I should transition into a green tea. I just don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, I ask you more, but I'm going to jump out and get some garage work done maybe tonight.
Yeah, I will likely not be around, hopefully, because Friday Magic should start again tonight. But I'll be around this weekend.
That's right, okay. Well, I'm going to sign off. You have a good one.
You too, have fun. And we'll see you again soon.
Great.
I don't know, like I said, things will probably work into a more normal ratio. Lose some weight. See if this helps my migraines like long term, and my mental facilities seem to come back long term, I might stay on it. But right now it's all about just trying to get that pain down and trying to figure out if dropping the weight helps us out as much as I think it probably will. Boosting the testosterone. That's the other big thing that I've started this month is boron. Boron, B-O-R-O-N. Apparently, as you gain weight, testosterone gets stored in your fat cells, and as you burn fat, you don't necessarily break loose that testosterone. So you use a supplement like boron, for example. It helps release the testosterone out of the fat as you break it down. So you actually put more testosterone back in your body. At least that's what the research is saying. So we'll see how that works out. Oh, is this more hit points? I could take more hit points. And then something I might do off camera is work on the gear list. But if you guys have any suggestions for gear, please send me a whisper. I would love to get, or I guess you could actually just leave it in the regular chat. I will see the chat as well. But I I would love to get an idea of what you guys think is the correct gear setup for stick build here going forward. Also, we're at 47 wisdom. We're getting 2 points of wisdom when we go into Reaper quests. Oh, we can start taking we have to spend more points to get over here, right? What's the number? 10? Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I don't see 3 more or 4 more points in this tree that I even care about right now. Same thing with like strength. I would go further up the Reaper's Blade tree, but I don't see a reason to go more that way. So yeah, we're getting 2 points from Reaper, which means we would like to go ahead and take 1 more point of wisdom. So let's do that first. Oh, I thought I closed this. I'm like, I can't find the wisdom button. Yeah, I think that's okay. So that takes us to 48 wisdom, so 49 in Reaper. Could be a little higher still. Could be a little higher. All right, everybody. I think with that, I'm basically going to bounce out for the afternoon and probably for a large portion of the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, follow buttons, depending on where you're watching. Take a second and hit the subscribe button over on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SamusGarobo. That's where I try to put out like my tutorial videos, build videos, hardcore reviews, stuff like that. I try to put that stuff out there on my YouTube channel. And of course, almost every single stream is what's the word I'm looking for? Archived over there on YouTube. Trying to pull up Nivvin's stream over here so I can more easily raid him. Yeah, I'm glad to help you guys out. I am going to raid Nivvin because he's actually streaming. So we'll throw it to him. And again, stay tuned. If something happens and there's no D&D tonight, or not D&D, sorry, Magic tonight, I will throw a I'll do a bonus stream. All right. Other than that, everyone have a good time. Enjoy Nivvin, and we'll see you guys on Monday at the very latest. Toodles, y'all.